Yo,
Yo, yo, yo.
how's it going, my man?
Chilling, brother, man. How you doing? What do you got?
I got I got like a pound of cooked chicken
Okay,
and just a shitload of rice.
let's go. Are you bulking or are you cutting right now?
I'm
Bulking.
bulking, but the thing is I haven't eaten like at all today, so I'm doing a really bad job so far. Dude,
That's fair.
yesterday was brutal though, dude. I slammed like 5,000 calories.
Why? Just
Just cause
hungry? Yeah.
no, just because like so the dance competition thing was Saturday or whatever, and then I didn't eat at all that day, like too much, just because I didn't want to throw up everywhere on stage. And then I got done with that and like even after they were like, "Oh, we got to go out to eat." And I was like, "Bro, I don't know, man." Like it's pretty bad. And then the morning after I just kind of woke up really hungry and then it was obviously Father's Day. So I went to Wolcott, hung out with my dad, my grandparents because everyone kind of came into town for the show and everything. So did that and then I just kind of like went ham at the camp and just excuse me, literally ate everything. It was phenomenal because I haven't done that in such a long time.
It's awesome, man. How was Saturday? Was that your first time performing on stage?
Yeah, so it was pretty like I was very, very good like leading up to it. Like I was like, oh, like I performed like in like five more routines, and I was like four, and there was like three, and there was like two, and I was like, oh shit, like I was like, I remember, dude, like my legs before I walked out on stage were like this.
Yeah.
They're like shaking. I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna totally forget the choreography and everything. Like it's gonna be so bad. And then I just did it and it turned out to be actually pretty good.
Nice.
So it was a really fun time. It was a really amazing experience. I can easily say like, dude, don't ever say you have anxiety or have dealt with anxiety until you just did what I just did
Yeah.
because it's fucking nerve-wracking, like straight up. But it was a great time. It was a really great experience. Like I just don't see myself getting like as nervous as that like ever again in my life. Like it was just amazing.
Was it a big crowd?
Yeah, dude. I like looked, I was like, oh no. Like I was like, oh no. It was a pretty decent
What is the
sized crowd.
context for this? Like, what
Mace,
were you dancing for?
Hmm?
What was the context for this? Like, what were you dancing for?
Like dollars for fun. Like I had a
for
like
dog.
yeah, you guys didn't know like cinema marketing cheat code's not working out too well for me, so I have to do my own thing on the weekends. No. Just for fun, I'm on. Like it's something I challenged myself with, and it's something that I always wanted to do. So I was just like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. And that's what happened.
That's cool.
And
Have you?
then go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mason.
I was gonna say today was just a really great day too because like Lauren, so the same day that I had the dance thing, Lauren got married.
Oh,
If you
damn.
yeah, so Aman and Daniel, that's my business partner.
Mm.
And she has been kind of like off and she's gonna be like back to 100% like working again I believe Friday or like Monday. So she needs like a week to do her like honeymoon or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. I don't see myself getting married, so whatever. But she's doing all that. But we scheduled a shitload of like sales calls for this week. She's like, I can't take any of these. And I was like, I mean, I'll take them. So today I've been taking her sales calls. Dude, I've been fucking murdering it, bro.
Let's go.
Killing it. I took 3 calls today. I closed 2 of them.
Nice. Let's go.
So it's been a really good day. Really good week.
Good, good. Everybody else, that, if you're late coming in and me and Mason are talking about how he shakes it for the dollar bills. Hope everybody's doing well. Daniel, Aman, Kyle, hope you guys are all doing well.
Jorge, Jorge slid up on my story because I had like a little highlight of someone like recording me, and he was like, "Damn, bro, I didn't know you would get down like that." I was like, I just thought it was funny because I just wasn't expecting like Jorge or someone else to like say something about it.
That's funny. Um, cool. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I think today sounds like it'll be a relatively quick one. I think most questions have already pretty much been answered. Let's see here. So who do we got first? Mr. Rodarte.
Yes.
Hold on.
I mean, my HVAC guy is like officially MIA. I tried calling him twice. He goes straight to voicemail. And then I saw him on Facebook posting for Father's Day. So I'm like, all right, his motherfucker's just done. So I mean, it is what it is, man. So I'm moving on, obviously, without him. So I was just gonna. I know you're saying to like put, do all the research, but even that's starting to become, a challenge. Like just getting people to respond. So I was just gonna like post like photo ads or images like of like HVAC stuff and just with that copy that I didn't send it to you guys. It's still on my Trello. But
Okay.
I created like copy for an ad.
Mhm.
And I just went to Chat GPT and said, hey, do this, and then it spit out some copy
Talk,
for it.
talk to me about like why you're finding it difficult or what's going on in terms of um doing that market research, like unable to get a hold of people, like what's kind of going on?
Well, my HVAC guy, the one I had was he's MIA. Remember I told you I sent a SMS blast to like three HVAC guys, and I was talking to one that fizzled out. I tried to get him back again. It's just done, I think. So, and I went to school, and like reached out there. I found this guy who had success a couple of years ago or a year ago maybe, with deactivation responses, or like I don't know what he called it, was DR, basically
Yeah.
texting.
Database reactivation.
That's what it is. Yes, database reactivation. And he was texting, all like the contacts from like HVAC business, and then offering. Actually, let me see. It's on my phone, I think. Well,
What if
anyway, I reached out to him. He hasn't responded yet.
what if you do something like this? What if, Daniel, you just like blast out the offer, kind of like what Drew did? Hey, would you like leads or whatever? Like, let you go back to Drew's thing, get him on the call and be like, hey, look, here's the deal. Here's who I am. We're doing market research, and what we do is in exchange for doing, picking your brain, ask you a few questions to help our agency out. We'd happily just run ads for you for a week entirely for free, just in exchange, good value. If after that you want to continue, happily do something like that for you if you want to discuss that. So that's kind of like a little bit of a bait and switch for you to just like literally roll that into potentially a free to feed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
What are
That's what I was thinking about doing. So like I was already working on like the image creatives for the ad.
No, what I'm saying is that so you message them, they say yeah, you hop on a call, you ask to pick their brain in exchange for a week for free, and you can even go over pricing just like Drew does. They say yeah. Then you hop on a call or Zoom, and then you do the research, and that research is what's going to help you with your marketing.
I see. I think you said do an ad and like get the opt-ins to do that.
No. So you do Drew's thing, and the whole purpose is you're trying to hop on a Zoom call to exchange, get the information you need for your ads, for your marketing, and in exchange, you're gonna do a free thing for them. Which bonus, like cherry on top, is maybe that'll convert over from a free to feed type of deal anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I'm down to try that. I'm just worried because I got flagged for phishing, and I don't know. I reached out to Drew to see what he did differently, but he didn't do anything differently. He just said he didn't get flagged, so I guess I was just unlucky. But I'm concerned now with the like if I keep getting flagged and what happens next? What are the consequences?
Mason, do you know what Daniel's dealing with, or can you give me some context of like what's going on?
Daniel, go ahead.
Okay, so I did Drew's thing where I went in Google Maps in the local area of mine and typed in HVAC businesses, and then I went to Phantom Buster, and then like just got like scraped all that info, imported the contacts to my Go High level.
Yep.
And then I sent an SMS blast to blast. It was just three 3 guys. And then I got
You only sent out 3 text messages?
yes.
Okay.
And then I got a no response. I got a replied stop. And then the one guy was like, I had him on the hook for a little bit, but then that fizzled out.
And then
But
yep.
but when I went into Go High Level, like it said, because I was texting him, the guy that I had on the hook, I was texting him through my Go High Level number, and then it stopped sending messages. Said this has been flagged for phishing, and I was like, oh shit! So I switched over to my.
Did you send any links inside of that? Inside of that?
Let me see. I don't think I did. I can double check.
Dan, you might want to write this down because it sounds like this is not something that we're familiar with, that we've seen. I think
Yeah.
one of your better bet is going to be just to reach out to customer service and just kind of report this to them and let them know what's going on, see if they can maybe remove that from your account, kind of like that strike. I don't even think you probably have a strike, but I would just like have a conversation with those guys because they probably are going to be a better bet in terms of quote unquote solution or prevention than we can give you.
I would be.
Okay. It
I'd
says
be-
error. It says
Go ahead.
error code 30007. Sorry, did I interrupt? Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's an error code 30007. It's a carrier violation. This destination carrier is filtering out your message for delivery. The content of your message was flagged as going against carrier guidelines. And then I Googled the error 3007 and it was for phishing.
Yeah. So my first thing would be like, be careful if you're sending any links in there. That's probably like the first thing that I would do. I would check to see if you're sending any links and try not to send links. Do you know what phishing is by any chance?
I know it's spam. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know exactly what it is. Like you're looking for like card numbers or something.
Yeah. So phishing basically is like a way to send people to, let's say, a fake website and collect their information and then use their details for something else.
Okay.
So I'm not necessarily sure as of kind of what happened there. I don't know if you were sending any links or something along the lines of that, but
Nope, wasn't.
yeah. I'd have to look at the messages. If you want to send me like a Loom video looking over your messages, I'll take a look at that. But I don't think it's from anyone like reporting you or anything.
I will say that it's now I'm looking at it, I do have like the replied stop verbiage in there. Whereas Drew did not, I don't think he had that. He just had it as like, hey, I'm looking for concrete. I don't think there's anything, any
So-
replied stop.
So let's do this in terms of plan of action. Step one, go ahead and like again with Mason, just send that over and maybe there's something that Mason can give you advice on. Two, definitely reach out to Go High Level. And the reason this is important is because this is going to be one of our marketing channels. So we have to solve this problem anyways. I'm suggesting that you do this for market research so that we can get your ads up and launch. But we have to solve this problem anyway, because we're going to be trying to get your counter booked through 2 marketing channels. One is going to be paid ads and the other is going to be through this method. We're going to do both of them. So you got to figure this out anyways. In other words, like you got to make sure that you're not getting hit with like this, do not like all this phishing and all this stuff. Well, you got to get that shit taken care of no matter what.
Okay.
So let's just deal with it now. So that's it. And then I mean, dude, like I don't, take this with a grain of salt, but like I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's that serious. I will tell you that because we run ads all the time and they say, hey, you're not going to get any clicks, you're not going to get any leads, you're not going to da 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 da. Your thing is being and like it turns out to be like a big nothing burger. So I would not be surprised if this is a big nothing burger, especially if you send out like what 3 texts you're saying and that happened. Like I'm sure it's probably a big nothing burger. But again, let's like look into it, let's do a bit of research and check it out. And the next step is like let's just try it again. Let's just try it again and get a few people on the line so you can do a little bit of market research. So that'd be kind of my action if I were you.
Got it.
So yeah, so you were saying something in terms of like, having a little bit of difficulty trying to do the market research. So we've kind of tackled that right now. What else do you have in terms of updates?
Well, that's where I'm at as far as my niche. And then I got my the client still doing the Pilates,
Mhm.
It's slowed down a lot as far as like now I'm just having trouble converting. I got hot for a little bit. I think I converted like maybe 5 or 6. And then now it's starting to cool down. So I'm gonna just re-edit a new creative.
What has down, the leads coming in or the leads picking up or the leads? So there's getting clicks, there's getting leads, there's you having conversation with them and then them saying yes. Like where has it slowed down?
the getting leads is good. On like the best day, leads were like $1.50 for like a whole day. And then it's probably averaging about $3 for just the one ad set or one ad, because I stopped the one that wasn't working. But to answer your question, leads are good. They're coming in. It's just them picking up. I'm getting a lot of like just voicemails. There's no responses. I'm starting to get people like have fun with the names. Like I got Tell Your Dog I Said Hi as a name, which I thought was funny. But another one said mom, like just hey mom.
So that happens.
Yeah.
So come into, before you do anything, my suggestion is that you come into the FAQ section of the Sonar Marketing Cheat Code. There's a video here titled "My Ad is Fatiguing. How can I revive the ad?" And so this is a really thorough video where I went step by step in terms of like what I do and how I work through it. Like literally, there's an ad in here. Whenever I recorded this, I literally, all I did is I mirrored the first 3 seconds. I literally did a horizontal flip in my editing, relaunched those, and now the ads are working again. So I share like stuff like that in here. So I would just like give it a watch before you go and do anything in terms of reviving the ads.
Okay.
And then that should take care of you in terms of what you have going on with her.
And then also I was gonna look at Allie's form that she submitted as far as like what offers she has offered, like, and then just maybe do a different offer. But again, like nothing is free because she doesn't want anything free. I also asked her, this is what doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm like, hey, it doesn't make sense to only offer like the one, like they could either do one of the following: a $15 intro class and that's it, or 3 for $70. Doesn't make sense. I was like, what if they do the 15 just to like, make sure they like it? Could they buy their second and third for 55, giving them a 3 for 70? And she says no. And I'm like, I don't understand why. And she says because then it would be a two. She says it because then it's 2 intro offers and not one. And I'm like, you're just splitting it in 2 payments. What's the difference? And I don't even argue with her anymore. I'm just like, fuck you, whatever.
So just like fuck you, whatever. So are you saying that you're suggesting to her like, hey, we can make one of these 2 offers, and she's saying like just make one of the one offer? I want to make sure I'm understanding clearly.
No, okay. So her offer that she's offered the new client special before I even was involved was 3 intro classes for $70.
Okay.
And then I said, hey, how about a free class? She says, no way. And I'm like, okay, well, what can you give me? She's like, I can do a 1 class for $15.
Okay.
And then, so I was running with that, I was having a little success as far as leads. And like, and then I said, well, when the leads were coming in, I was just upselling them to the 3 for $70. But then like people were asking, and I didn't have a good answer for them. They were asking, why can't I do the $15 now? And then if I want the second and third, just pay the difference. And Allie didn't have a good reason. She just said no. It's like,
yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand. I don't think she likes, yeah.
She doesn't like money, and probably there's some kind of an operational issue with her, most likely, where like it's just too much work to go in and do the price difference and get that set up. I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm guessing something like that.
Yeah, so I'm having to deal with people be like, well, that's stupid. I'm like, hey man, I just work here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what else is going on with her? I mean,
that's it, man. We haven't been communicating, which is great. Just kind of like at arm's distance now. She's reverted back to Slack. She went from I set it up with Slack. I said, hey, all communication through here. She says Slack doesn't work for me. I'm like, fine, we could text. And then we went from texting, and then she went back to Slack. I'm like, whatever, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's just,
I guess like what's the move overall, like holistically, or you're just kind of like, I mean, to me, I'm just curious. To me, it sounds like you're just kind of going with the flow and just kind of seeing what happens. I'm just wondering, like, do you have something like a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day kind of a game plan for the future? Or just kind of like playing it by ear still?
well, I have what's killing me is like there's no effort on their end when these opt-ins like they pay and they go through the doors. There's no effort on them to even sell a package.
Right.
So I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like that their buying temperatures like the hottest right there. Like you should be like, hey, what do you think about a package? Like open your mouth. Like, but her thing is like, well, that's really a Club Pilates things. Our trainers don't sell, and we don't want them to sell. I'm like, okay. I
Didn't you
don't
say
know.
that? Didn't you say that like she felt like it was your responsibility to do the selling, or are you talking about something else?
Yeah, she thought it was my responsibility, and I said, yeah. I said, yeah, no, I can definitely hit him up through SMS and all that, but like nothing's gonna beat them just having a great workout and those like as someone is selling them right there. That I can't do that. And she was just
And
saying,
so is she still under the impression like, hey, you're gonna do the sales, which is what you've been doing, and you're gonna follow up with them and do the upsells? Is
yeah.
she under?
So I'm actually like mapping them out as far as like when they get when they book an appointment. There's like one that basically I people who've paid it's about $400. One girl bought one class and she wants to buy a package of private sessions, which is like $400.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm just like having to keep tabs on them. It's exhausting. I'm just like,
How
so
did
yeah. To answer your question, I'm just like going with the flow, and I'm just gonna running out the clock.
Okay, so real quick, because I kind of gave you some advice on this, but like just out of curiosity with that lady, that $400, like did she sign up for it, go in, and then say she wanted to do the 400? Like, how did you get her to want to do that?
No, over the phone, she told me, no, I don't want to do 3 classes. I'm interested in private sessions, but I just want to try one. And I said, great. And then so I signed her up. Her class hasn't happened yet,
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
but once she goes through class, I gotta like follow up with her and be like, hey, how about a private session or whatever.
How many hours a day are you putting into this right now, do you feel like, with her?
I try for like 2 hours
I mean, what are you putting in? Like 1 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours, 30 minutes? Like, what are you on average putting in, do you feel like?
a day with this. Probably, I mean, I would say 2.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah. So do you so there's advice I gave you, like kind of a 30-day thing, and then you kind of do something else. Do you remember that?
Do something else like telling her something coming up or something that you
Yeah.
said.
You remember
Yeah,
that whole, yeah.
yeah.
So that's why I was asking, is like as I'm listening to just kind of like talking about her, it's like it's gonna hurt. Right now we're laughing, we're joking, and we're having fun with it, but it's really gonna kill you, man, here in like 2 weeks time, even a week's time. Once you get the ads rolling and everything else up and rolling, you're gonna be like, shit, this is like an opportunity cost. Every 2 hours that you give to this, you're gonna be like, fuck, I could be so much further ahead in my other thing. You know what I mean? And so the reason I'm having this conversation with you is just to kind of get you prepared so that you're not like finding yourself extremely frustrated there at that point.
Yeah, I think what's taxing right now is the quality of leads coming in. Like no, like it's just like I'm striking out over and over again. So that's why I want to like
It's gonna get worse.
Okay.
What I'm telling you is it's gonna worse. This is normal. Like you always have this honeymoon phase where when you launch an ad, here's what I always tell people: if your offer is good, your ad is good, if it's what the market wants, it's gonna start working right away. And I had that conversation with you a few weeks ago. I was like, okay, this is a good sign, Daniel. And then what almost always happens is you're typically gonna have like honeymoon phase, and then it's gonna slow down. And when it's slowed down, like what feels abnormal to you right now might actually be normal. And so what you experienced before might have been above average, and what you're experiencing now might actually be average. We don't know until you've spent some more money on ads, ran it for another few weeks, then we'll know. So I'm leaning this is probably normal actually. So the thing that is
Right.
causing you to pull your hair out, man, like it's gonna be more of that.
Got it.
So we gotta get ahead of it is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we gotta get ahead of it now. We gotta prepare for it, get ahead of it now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts when I say that?
I mean, I know you're saying don't worry about the refunding, but that's where my head's at. Is like, okay, it's gotta like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't know my work ethic or what, but I just feel like I don't know, I owe her money. If I back out, I owe her money, and so it's just like, okay, well, I want to like get borrow from Peter to pay Paul, kind of like to get this niche funnel going, collect from them to give back to her. But I know you're saying don't worry about that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think about it.
If that's how you feel, then that's okay. Everybody's a little bit different. If that's how you feel mentally, that's totally cool. And if that's what you want to do, like go for that. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to look out for you in terms of like my job is to put as much money into your pocket as possible. Like that's my relationship with you, and that's all I'm trying to do. But
Yeah.
if at the end of the day you're like, hey, Kershik, I wouldn't feel right about this and I want to do it a different way, well then, dude, like do it your way. You know what I mean? I would implore you here. Here's what I would suggest. I would suggest doing it the way that I suggested doing it as a baseline. And then here's the thing. If you do it the way I'm suggesting it, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have two options. On one option is she's going to be like totally cool with it. And she's going to be totally fine. Everything's going to be totally cool. And then you can make the decision of like, okay, cool. I just want to roll with this, right? There's option one. So she says, yeah, you roll with it and you're totally cool. Like, okay, you feel good about it in your heart. She feels good about it. Awesome. Option two is she says no. If she says no, okay, well, then you're just going to give her money back, which is kind of like the base case is what you're thinking already. So she says no, you just give it back. Other option, she says yeah, and then you have a choice here. You can either give it back or you could keep it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like you might as well do that route and then kind of see what happens and then go take it from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Balls in you do what you feel would be best for you. That's just like if it were me making from a numbers point of view, like that's I think what the best thing would be do in terms of numbers, and giving yourself the most amount of options for what you want to do. What else is brewing in your head?
That's it. Really, I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm excited. I'm like, I just go through phases, man. Like, like, oh, cool, I got this. It's in the bag, but it's gonna happen, and then it's just, it's like, oh, well, it's not happening as quick as I thought it was. Like, I thought I'd be. It's the same old story, man. I thought I'd be further along. I'm not. I haven't even launched an ad yet.
Yeah.
But
You know, you don't seem like the type of guy that you say woo-woo stuff to. You're a very logical guy, but one of my favorite quotes by Tony Robbins is most people overestimate what they will accomplish in a year and underestimate what they will accomplish in 10 years. I don't know if you've ever heard that one before.
no, I haven't.
It's like in a year's time, we often, especially in this game, we're like, oh, we're gonna move so fast. And then you look back in 3 years, man, you're like, holy cow, who's that? Who was that Rodarte guy back then doing Pilates? Um, so anything else in your head you want to discuss, man?
No. I know what I got to do. I got to do it now.
Yeah, just gotta do it, man. Just gotta do it. Keep me posted on the HVAC stuff. Mason, do you have any thoughts or any suggestions for Rodarte?
Oh, Mason, my opportunities, they seem to be loading at regular speed now. I don't know what that was about, but it was frustrating.
I don't know, it just might be a excuse me. Might just be like a go high level thing. I don't know. But it's working now, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, in terms of the Pilates client, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's like
In terms of like, again, Mason, I mean, anything that you feel like would be beneficial, or maybe even Aman, because you've been here for quite some time, but like just like that whole mindset of like, man, I thought I'd be further along, and just kind of like where he's at. Like, do you have any like words of wisdom that you guys can share with Rodarte that you think would help him?
I think the toughest thing is kind of like managing your time, especially like you and where you're at now. It's like you're juggling this client that's like you're paid for it, but you're spending a lot of time doing it, and that's kind of what's holding you back. And if you think about it, that's kind of like the hamster wheel that you're trying to get away from anyway, even though you're kind of like starting your own ventures and doing like a video marketing thing, right? It's basically just like another 9 to 5 for you right now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if you treat it this way, like, and you're like, oh, I know that the type of person I am is like I am a hard worker and like I'll feel bad. It's like at the end of the day, it's like what's gonna make you feel worse? Like you feeling bad that you know in your heart that you're trying everything you're doing in your power to help accomplish her goals, and she's not taking that thing. But at the end of the day, what's gonna hurt you the most is you knowing that you're pouring your time and energy into someone that doesn't necessarily want it as bad for as you. And it's like I would rather go and spend my time building out your niche funnel, because at the end of the day, that's the thing that's going to be the long-term thing for you, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I always kind of try to focus on long term versus like short term. So take what you want with that information.
I think that's great. Thanks.
Um,
I have some, and I can share what like kind of goes through my head. Because I think I struggle with this a lot too. And I think Kushik knows that, where I feel like I constantly need to be farther, but I think something just like mentally helps me. Is like you'd be surprised when you actually like look back how far you've gone. So like, when did you close this client that you're working with?
Like mid-April. So it's been
Mid-April,
almost 2 months.
2 months.
About 2 months, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
2 months.
like, even if you think about like a month ago working with her, like, do you feel like what you know now is completely different than like 1 month ago when you were working with her?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I tend to like notice I'm like, like 2 months past, I'm like, wow, I was doing things completely different. Or like what I was saying on my sales calls were completely different. Like what you say now is like, knowing what you know now, just even like a few weeks later, um, it's just like everything you frame is gonna be completely different. Then, you'd be surprised a month from now how like your perspective on things change. So I would say like, two things for me is just one is like how much you don't realize how far you become until you actually like look back and be like, okay, what was I doing like a month ago? And those sort of things. And then the other thing is just like, regardless of these feelings, if you just show up every day, you're gonna make progress. As long as you show up every day, then you can't not move forward, in my opinion. Even if you feel stuck, you're still growing. So yeah, that's kind of what helps me, just showing up and then try to like look back and kind of see how far I've come from like different time points.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you guys so much for that. Rodarte, just so you know, the reason I kind of harped on this last little bit myself and kind of shared that thing about Tony and, asked Mason and I'm going to share their perspective is because you've brought this up maybe 3 or 4 times. And in my experience, whenever people bring something up multiple times, it's important to them. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I mean, if you want us to shut up, we'll shut up. Or if there's something that's important to you in that there's a reason why you're bringing it up, like I'm open to hearing and maybe trying to learn or understand a perspective that I'm not understanding right now. Does that like is there anything you want us to know regarding like why is this frustrating? Like is this frustrating for you? Or you're just like, like is there something that you want us to know, you want me to know?
I mean, not really. Just just trying to. I just feel like like stuck in, um, like not able to make a move yet. That's what it felt like for a while.
If you so you feel like you're kind of stuck and kind of like quicksand, maybe we're like pushing a little bit forward, getting pulled down, pushing a little forward, but you're not quite out of it, where you can like
Well,
breathe.
for a while, I think for a while it's not just now. It's been like during waiting for Allie and stuff. It's just like there's times where I'm just like it feels like I'm sitting on my hands. I can't just like a day of like, okay, nothing really got done today.
Okay. So that's a different thing. So it's one thing to like feel like I'm not further along And then it's another thing to feel like I'm just kind of like sitting on my hands. Those are kind of two different things.
Okay.
Those are like two different problems is kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like one problem is like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm quicksand. I feel like I'm not further along. I feel like I haven't arrived. I feel like I'd be further along. That's one problem. And then another problem is, dude, I'm fucking sitting on my hands. I don't know what the fuck to do. Those are two completely different problems.
Well, sitting on my hands, like, okay, I don't have my research guy yet. You know, like I was waiting. I guess I kind of um was hoping and thought my HVAC guy would, like, you know, come through and like, okay, you can be my guinea pig. And I was like hoping on that, and then that fell through. And that's okay. I just, like, the first step was, okay, research. But between this week and last week, like, nothing got done on my end as far as, like, you know, yeah, I've reached out, but no one has you know, responded. So it's just like, okay, well, I'm still here in this square one.
Hmm. So let me ask you this question then. What would make you feel like better? Like what would make you feel like, oh, I'm good? Just out of curiosity. Like what would be
Getting
an
things
ideal?
done, like getting stuff checked off a list. Like, okay, you know, um, found a research guy, scheduled an interview, did the interview. Okay, creative's done. Like building funnels, like all that, like getting stuff done, checking off a
Hmm.
list.
I see what you're saying. So it sounds to me like it's like you have a checklist of stuff and it's like, fuck, it's just taking longer than why? Why is it taking me so? Why am I so stuck on this one little thing?
Yeah.
I got the next shit to do. I got the next shit to do. And you're kind of like looking at this massive list of things to do. Like, dude, I got shit to do. Am I kind of understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Welcome to entrepreneurship. I'm gonna share something with you. Okay. You ready for this? This will give you anxiety right now. So on my phone, I have a thing of like to-dos. Okay. You guys probably can't see it. Can you guys see it? Okay.
It's a little too bright.
It's a little too bright. I'm gonna keep fucking going, going, going. You see all those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life. That's being an entrepreneur. I can never get ahead. I always feel like I got shit to do. And that's normal. So all like this anxiety, this feeling that you have, like that's normal. You're always gonna have the next thing to do. It never stops. And I think we spoke about this on onboarding where I said, hey, this thing of like constantly getting stuck. Remember that? I don't know if you remember that. That's where you are. You're kind of at like one of those pivot, and then you're gonna fix this, and then you're gonna have the next thing, and you never fully arrive. And I know I'm just gonna give me some woo-woo stuff right now, but that's just the reality. Um, there will be times where like you feel like, man, I'm making a lot of progress. And I think the moment you're gonna feel that, Daniel, is gonna be when you're back doing a lot of just like sales calls and closing deals. I think that's when you're gonna feel that way again. But you're still always gonna think like the moment you get there, you're gonna be thinking like, okay, I'm good. And then what's gonna happen is like in a week or 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a month or 2 months, you're gonna be like, fuck, I'm feeling a little bit burned out or whatever. Now I got to bring the other person on. And so you're gonna think, okay, I got to hire this person. Now, how do I do it? I got to go to LinkedIn and I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. There's always going to be that thing. And so that's normal. So I don't know if this helps at all, just kind of sharing that perspective with you.
Yeah, it
But
does.
it's normal.
You're doing hey Daniel, you're doing niche research on HVACs, correct? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So, the company that I used to work for, the marketing company, we had a couple HVAC companies. I just called them when you guys were talking. I didn't get in contact with the owner, but I'm calling again tomorrow, at 8, and then hopefully I can set something up for you guys. Where you can ask him questions.
That'd be great. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no promises, but he's a super cool guy. He's really cool with
Yeah.
me. So I know if I get him on the phone, then we can set something up. So,
Thank you. Appreciate
yep.
that.
Just on another note there, Daniel. Now, I'm kind of hesitant to say this because, well, he's not the easiest person to work with, but my fiance's dad, he owns an HVAC company here in Moose Jaw. but he doesn't do any digital marketing. So like we've actually ran ads for him, I don't know, a couple of years ago for AC commercial, and it worked pretty well. So, but he's so busy that he can never get on the phone. However, his wife, she might be able to, like, she might be interested. And I always thought, hey, maybe I would help them with this kind of thing, but it would just, Coach Sheik would probably slap me if I took on another client and that kind of, yeah, exactly. Mason's got it. Yeah. So anyway, like, I could talk to her because if you're offering some kind of free stuff, she's probably all on board for it. But the reason why I was hesitant is because, well, she's my mother-in-law, and she's not easy to work with either. Like, she's pretty, like, well, kind of like hard. I don't know how to describe her, but I feel like you've already had your bad clients, and she's good, but she'll just tell you the truth, right? Like, she doesn't beat around the bush. So, but anyway, I love her. But, that could be definitely good for you. So I'll ask her too.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate any help.
Yeah, and then like he's been around for like 20 plus years. He's 7-figure business owner for his HVAC. So if digital ads work, he'll pay you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we all just like came together like the Avengers right now.
That's why we're here, man.
Cool. All right, guys. So, Daniel, if you have more stuff, other things, like we'll chat about it. Let us know.
I'm good, man. Thank you.
Aman. Yeah, man. So left you a lot of like things to not do for wanting to get your
I
girlfriend.
hired and fired my first employee in the
Right.
span of those messages.
When did you guys start going out? This is the girl you've been talking to recently and just met, right? Or
Yeah, this is Detroit. Yeah, this is that one.
how long have you guys been official?
Since April, mid-April.
Yeah, and then you guys break up in 2 months
Yeah,
because you
and it's how I put all them, that's how I test all them, make sure
You-
they're
get them to
You
work
just
for
got a
you.
high churn rate on relationships.
yeah. As soon as one hits, it's a lifetime investment. So
Um, but yeah, man. So I gave you my thoughts. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts.
yeah, I mean, as far as that, because I thought that was more like setting for me. Now like knowing it'd be like setting for my clients. I'd say the only reason I think she would be a good fit for that just because she knows more about medical spas. She was like telling me about how some of those services works, but I don't like it's not enough for it. It's like, she knows sales or whatever. Um, but yeah, so I mean that's all good. I think it's more of like okay, now I want to hop on this call with Dr. Jennifer and just basically what I plan to do is I send the screenshot where it's like, hey, let's schedule a time, and then I'm thinking about just telling her like, hey, this is the first thing we're gonna do on the call, just so like this, just so you know what to expect on this call, and basically just let her know like we'll walk through each of the leads that came in, and we'll figure out which of them booked appointment, those sort of things, and then that way I can kind of let her know like this is what we'll do, but if you want to get this information beforehand so the meeting will be quicker, then we can do that as well. I just need to know how many phone calls you've been on, like how many like calls people you've talked to, and then which of those people booked an appointment, and then how many of those showed up. Because I think if I get those numbers for this specific campaign, it can and it's looking good, then it's possibly a lot more hopeful than the whole AI stuff I've been doing.
So walk me through like give me a refresher on like what you're doing for her, because I mean just based off your languaging it sounds like you're hopeful and you're kind of like putting this up like, okay, this could be something, this could be the thing. Like remind me of like what you're doing with her that's different than what we were doing in the past with her.
Okay, so I'll show you the actual thing too. But before we're running a $247 Botox offer that included like different bonuses, such as like peel and take home kit, right? So it just had like these extra bonuses all for 247. And before, what would happen is people would opt in, they would talk to the AI, and the AI would try to push them for a phone call, and then she would try to call them, or she would try to like message them and try to get them booked, right? And so what was happening is that a lot of people were opting in. They would have conversations with the AI. I think a lot of them did, but then they wouldn't either like answer calls, or they wouldn't like, schedule that time to like book with her and stuff. So what we did now is I just took the free Botox like landing page, and I just updated that so that it's for a 247 offer, where instead of like all the different points talking about like the different bonuses, or not the different benefits that he put for the free Botox, I just put it for the bonuses. So it's like, the first feature benefit is like the Botox, then it's like the peel that's gonna do this, and then you're gonna get the take home kit. So I just stacked that up instead, put the whole value. And then people are, instead of opting in for a free thing, they were opting in for the Botox, or sorry, yeah, the 247 Botox. And about
So the ad is the same or no?
the ad is the same.
So the ad is the same. The difference is in the previous we had the AI, and now instead of the AI, you're doing what? You're driving traffic to that
To that
page.
page.
Wait, so are they both lead formats?
No, one is a lead form from Facebook where they just put a name, phone number,
And
email.
the AI,
The other one,
this one is actually going to funnel.
this one is going to a funnel on that
Okay.
landing page. So yeah, if you
Okay,
want,
so that's a big difference then. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to pull it up, you can, but I know what you're getting at.
yeah. You've seen it. And then basically after that, it takes them to the calendar page where they book with her. And then and
Have you
we
not
didn't
done
even do it. What was that?
Have you not done that with somebody before? Where you have an ad and it goes, they opt in and they schedule on their end?
Nope.
Have you not ran that? Oh wow.
'Cause I've
Okay.
never seen anyone do it. And so I thought, okay, well, I don't want to like try to reinvent it. He was the first guy I saw that actually did it. I'm like, this is what makes sense to me, just because it's how I run my ads.
Botox guy is the one who
Yeah.
okay. Wow. Because I remember when Aaron was talking to you, Aaron was saying that he tries both of them. He does either the lead form ads or he does an ad that goes into a funnel. And he just says if the ones that go into a funnel, which is what you're doing right now, are too expensive, he does the lead form ads. Do you remember that?
Right. I remember that, but I think it was just more of, because I think I opted in for one of those, and I think it was just like actually, I don't know if I opted in for one of those, but I'm pretty sure, I don't think he mentioned they booked a call. I can
He
try
didn't
to
mention
re-listen to that, but
it wasn't about booking.
yeah.
It was just like, here, we have lead form ads and we have regular lead ads. And so he was saying
Yeah,
regular
well,
funnel if it's too expensive.
I have done like a simple landing page before when I first started with Dr. Jennifer, and so that was like working fine, where it was just like a landing page and she opted in, and then I just switched to Facebook ads because it was easier to set up and it was doing the same thing. Um, but
So you
this one has a lot more info.
So step one is you were going to funnel, and then step two, phase one, you're going to funnel with her. Phase two, you went back to lead formats, and phase three, now you're going back to a funnel, but it's a lot more content and it's a lot more stuff that you're selling. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I just wanted to kind of get up to speed. You were saying
Yeah. And the landing page before worked really well. I think one thing you just mentioned is like, hey, let's try to do everything across the board. And then when I was setting up all these new ads for, I didn't want to recreate all these different funnels. So I was like, okay, it's just gonna be a lot easier to do. So the landing page did work, but it was kind of like the same data. Um, but yeah, what's cool about this is that um let me see
what's your
if I
cost
can
per lead now? And then what was your cost per lead from the lead form?
um hold on.
What I'm hearing, sorry, I'm like just throwing a bunch of stuff away. Um,
Yeah, good.
um,
Um,
I,
Dr. Jennifer.
like the difference I'm hearing now is like, hey, we had stuff with the lead form. With this, we have stuff, but like before, it was like the cost per actual conversation, the cost per show up was relatively high, and it was a pain in the ass, and she didn't want to do it. But now we're just getting people to automatically book on their end. That's kind of what I'm hearing from you.
Correct. Yeah,
That's like
and
that's the part that you're like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Getting people to book on their own. Nobody has to follow up. Nobody has to do shit. No AI. Is that what you're
yep.
kind of getting?
Yeah. So like before, yeah, so even just like Okay, I don't know why I keep saying something was wrong, but let me try to share my screen here. Share screen. Oh, it said disabled.
Um,
Let me
you
try.
should be able
Oh,
to share.
should work. Okay, you can see. Okay, so I don't know why it's saying but right now I think it's like around $6 per lead. $7. Okay, here we go. So we have 13 uh yeah, 13 opportunities, 13 here. Um, so this is basically people who opted in, but they didn't book on the calendar, and then these are the people who booked on the calendar. And I have listened, like I saw there was like 2 live calls, like when I was going through the chats last time I checked, and I'm pretty sure she booked those in. So that's why I really want to get on the call with her and just, overall, like one, get the numbers, like how many of these people actually booked in, and then, because if she's booking in like even a few people, like even if it was like a third of these or fourth of these, I think like even if it was the same amount, just the effort that goes into getting these people booked versus the other people where she has to like manually message them or she has to like chase after them versus the percentage here they're coming to her. It's just way different, and then I think she's probably is getting a much higher because they're actively booking. And I see that they're being pretty responsive too. So
So, so it sounds like the cost per lead might be the same or higher with this method, but the overall cost per booking is a better price now, and it's much more energy efficient. Is that what you're saying? So it
correct.
costs less time and it costs less dollars to get bookings. That's what you're saying. Less dollars and
Correct.
less to get
And I
bookings.
think the cost per lead may be around the same because they both started around like $4 and then they kind of went up to like, $10. I think like all the ads I do tend to go like $4 to $6 and then they'll go up to like around like they'll even out around like $10.
So what's the part that's got you like super excited about this? I'm sorry, actually, if there's other stuff that you want to show me, like I want to see it.
No, I mean I think the biggest thing is like instead of free Botox, I just put 247 and then I just stacked all this up.
So we're doing this thing as the Botox guy, but instead of the issue that we have with the Botox guy is the profit margins are so small on the front end and they're not selling packages. Now it's like, okay, we're taking we're kind of combining the best of his world and your world, where we're saying the 247 so that there's no profit margin, so that if they don't do upsells, they're still okay. And we're reducing like time and all that stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
much easier
And
to
I think you're
not
kind of
pitching.
like filtering out, like even if their net profit is similar, I think you're just weeding out a lot of those just like people who are going after the free stuff, right? Versus the people who can afford the 247. That was Naida's biggest thing is that she wants people who can like afford a higher price.
So
Um,
what's brewing in your head in terms of now that you've seen this, assuming we hop on, assuming the numbers are good, like what's brewing in your head in terms of like what now?
so first thing is I want to like build this out for like all my clients basically for the current campaign. So I want to try it with the hydrofacial because all my clients just, they have sometimes a hard time like following up with all these leads or it's inconsistent stuff. So I want to basically yeah, like kind of build this out for all my clients and see how it does. So like Amiglo do it for the 147 hydrofacial offer. Um, I'm running a $97 campaign, so I want to do it for that. And then whatever we decide for CY Static, we're supposed to hop on a call this week and kind of figure out what's going on there. So that's a different thing. But yeah, basically whatever campaigns I am running, just try those with those offers and just see like if they're getting a better booking rate and stuff.
Okay. So I guess like how would you, so there's some stuff that's burning in my mind, like so you got this thing with her and then you're going to try different similar things like opt-in page, counter page, stacking stuff up, similar types of ads. But like, okay, so let's say I would assume that it's going to work for the other people, right? Because it's working for her and what I'm seeing from you, like I'd be surprised if it doesn't work is what I'm saying. So let's say it does
Okay.
work. Okay, great. Now what? Now what?
I mean, I guess it's like the biggest thing is getting the numbers and like I think that's like where my head is at, just getting the numbers so that way I can see, okay, once these people come in, how much are they making like once that person, like, are they just buying that thing? How much are they spending total? So like for Naida, I basically told her like, okay, the next steps is that you're gonna fill out this page. So I created like a page where they can write all the different names of the people and how much they spend from the campaign. And then this I can, show her like the numbers while put it in so we can see the percentage converted and stuff. But I guess like, I mean, to me, like if I can at least make them happy where they feel like, okay, people are coming in, they're spending money, and it's not like they're chasing after every single lead. They're not, dealing with that. I feel like it'll be a lot easier to like scale from there, I guess. Maybe not, but maybe I need to figure out the back end stuff first. But
That's what I'm ultimately getting at. When I keep asking you, like, okay, next, now what? Now what? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to listen from you from, okay, how do we operationalize? How do we systematize this? And so I'm not hearing that yet. I have some ideas, but I want to kind of hear, okay, great. So step one, get the numbers from Jennifer. Step two, roll this out with other people. It's not gonna be the exact copy, copy paste system. We run it out. Step three, we're going to get the numbers, see how profitable everybody is, make sure they're all happy. Okay, now what? How does that remove this bottleneck that you have?
the bottleneck of like operationalizing it, or
Yeah. The bottleneck of, let's say we ramp up ad spend and you're closing one person every other day. Can you handle with these people? Assuming whatever is working with Dr. Jennifer is going to work with these other people, assuming the profit margins are good, do you think you could handle that or no?
um so I do know the landing page probably takes a little bit longer to build just because there's more like information. You have to put their photo and those sort of things. Um, I think the hardest part is like just getting the offer down so that way I don't have to like figure out the wording for different offers, if that makes sense. So like yeah, it works for her, but I don't know how many people will run that exact offer because they don't have those exact things. Um, and I figure that's something I would collect over time. Like let's say I do this offer and I have all the wording on like a doc, and then I can just take like the Botox and then like the red light therapy like paragraph. I just went to like ChatGPT for that. But
It's like
like
the funnel you have right now is like one funnel, right? You have that calendar, you have that count specific combination. What I'm gathering from like what I had like watching Selena with Tanner is she was doing the same thing as you're doing right now, pretty much. I mean, maybe she did lead format. It doesn't matter. I think she was actually doing funnels because she talked about she had to build funnels for every single client. So actually, I think she's probably doing what you're doing. Um, and so it sounds to me like she had like 20 different kinds of funnels.
right.
So I feel like that could be potentially what you have is like you have like 20 different kinds of funnels and we pick and choose, like depending on who we're having a conversation with. And there are ways to operationalize this where let's say, so here my mind is going to like, how do we operationalize this? How do we systematize this? So let's say you have like, I think what you'll have to do is you'll keep doing this with all the other people. And when you do them, you don't want to make it so specific and nuanced. You want to think to yourself, okay, if I make this funnel, can it be applied to maybe 5 other medical spas? Can it be applied to a few other clients in the future? If so, then let's run this play. If not, then let's not do it because I can only do it with this client and then like it's not the best use of my time. So that's the first thing. The other thing that's coming to my mind is let's say on our onboarding page, we have something which is like, hey, here's a video. And then like, let's say, there's a video that they watch and say, hey, look, below this video, you're going to notice about 7 different kinds of plays for 7 different kinds of offers that we have. Give these really quick videos a watch. Each of them are like 3 minutes long. And then I want you to put a check mark next to the ones that you think would work for you. So again, they hop in, they pay you on the onboarding, they have this video to watch, and then they select all these ones. And so now, and then maybe there's some additional information. They check in, they say, but this, but this, that. So this way, okay, I can run this play, but at this price point, whatever it is, so that we don't need to go back and forth with them. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that's a way I'm thinking about potentially helping you operationalize this thing. Another thing that's brewing in my head as you're talking about this is like, how do we make a special? How do we add some like unique sauce to this? What's brewing in my head is like you have and this is the part that I know there's something there. I'm just not in the trenches enough, but like add 247 calendar page. Then and you can play around with this. You have the time. You can call them up, be like, hey, I'm so glad, I'm so excited for this thing. Also, at the very beginning of the month, at the end of the month, whatever the fuck the excuse is, we actually need to fill up 20 roles, 20 spots. And so if you're interested, what we're actually doing is we're discounting this thing and we're doing this as long as you're open to a membership. I don't know what the fuck it is, but we say something, and then I don't know how the fuck we do it. We sell them right then and there, or we wait for them to come in person, then we sell them. Does that make sense?
Kind of like basically like a last second incentive for them to come in as
Yeah.
long as they do a certain thing.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So I remember I went to medical spa, sign up for something, and then at the very end of it, he's like, hey, so you can do these other additional things, and it's X dollars. I'd be like, okay, cool. But he's like, to get that discount, you just need to put $50 down to reserve it.
Mm.
And so now when I put the $50 down, it's like, okay, after I do the initial treatments, I'm gonna want to utilize that $50 just kind of sitting there. Let me go and pay off another $50, and then boom, now I'll get that additional thing. So, anyways, that what I'm saying is there's a million ways to skin this cat. What I'm saying is that if one of the things that you said, so a few problems that we have, operationalizing, systematizing. So we've already talked about that. We just keep doing these things out, keep banging them out, have about 20 different templates, and then we do something in terms of your onboarding page. That's a way that we can potentially operationalize this, systematize this. Two, in terms of increasing the profit margin, this is where those calls come in. So you know how like right now, what you're doing is you're calling so far, what they've been doing is when somebody opts in through the lead form, they've been calling just to try to get them in through the door. It's been a whole fucking tugging, like this whole shebang.
Right.
Now, the purpose of the purpose of the setter call is not to get people to show up. The purpose is to incentivize them to spend even more money. It's not to get them to show up, but to spend more money. We're trying to set them up for some shit. Just like the free Botox thing, what he did is, hey, this is free, but you got to buy these two other things. And then maybe there's a conversation or something that happened before they hopped in to get them ready to pay for more stuff.
Right. Right.
So if I'm you, I'm going to take this time and energy to experiment with a bunch of different things. That's how I always figure these things out. Just experiment with a few different things. And then you're going to find a play. I promise you, I think you're going to find something that works really well.
Okay. So like
Attach that play onto every single, all the 20 different plays. We attach that small little setter thing on to increase average order value.
got it. I know one thing, so like the Botox guy, he was saying like for basically like 80% of people who come back 3 times consider themselves a patient for life, right? And so like one way he was doing it was like the membership, it was like a trial sort of thing, and they would come back. What one thing Great and Ursel does with the bonuses that he has, when someone comes in, they get the core treatment, and then they are eligible for that bonus if they book that next appointment that day. And if they cancel or anything like that, they lose that bonus. Now that's like a little bit longer, like rather than them having the mindset before they come in on the phone call. But that is just something that also like I know they do, but like yeah, I like also the setting the frame that they spend more money.
I like Graydon. Is it Graydon or Grayson?
Graydon.
Graydon. I like Graydon's thing of like the back end of like, okay, so that's something that we can teach the med spa business owners, right? So we have some course material and we teach them like, hey, look, here's what's going to happen. They're going to come in here. It's very important that you and your staff ensure that they say these lines to get them to sign up for the next thing. It's super crucial that you do this. And we need to hit them hard as fuck. You need to hit them hard as hell. So now we focus on the back end, right? But in terms of the front end, let's try to figure something out.
Where they're framed in their head that they are going to spend more money.
It's like they came in with the mindset of I'm going to spend $247, and then you say something to them, and somehow we take that 247 to 347 or 447, and then when they hop inside, they take the 447 to like 797.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
So
Do you remember what it was that you paid for? It was like $50 down. So that was the $50 you put on the phone call, and then you got an extra thing when you showed up, or
yeah. So my way isn't what I'm talking about right now with you. So for me, it was like, so there was something I found on Groupon. This is like 2 years ago. I was testing style. It was something for like hair removal, laser hair removal. And so it was really cheap. I went in person, and then I forget if I paid. I don't think I even paid. I think I went in, I think he did a consultation, and then I think he said, "Hey, look, this is for like 10 treatments but you're really going to need like 20 treatments." I think that's what he said, something like that. And to get an additional 20 treatments, it's going to be another 197. So it's like $50 for the 10 treatments and then 197 for another 20. And he was like, if you put the $50 down, then we're going to allow you to do the 197. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay like 300 or something.
okay, okay.
So get like a
And it was
pack of
$50 down to get you kind of to come back, and to secure that 197.
so it's very similar to what Grayson is doing.
Right.
So $50 for 10 treatments, and then for the next 10, it's $300 on its own, or you get for 197, but you got to put $50 down today. So
Right.
very similar to like Grayson stuff.
Got it. That's something I feel like that's something similar to how the Botox guy is doing his memberships. I just don't really understand like how he did his numbers. Like,
Through his membership stuff. It's complicated and
I-
forget it. Yeah,
okay.
I'm like in a place where I'm just like, it's
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
because I would have to like basically help them set them up all with all the prices, all the different things. It just feels too like complicated. I like the packages because
So
when I
let me
do
give you here's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, this will make sense. So let's say you have a coaching program, right? Our coaching program. Let's say you have a hop on a sales call with somebody and pitch them $5,000. They say, Kaushik, I'd love to, but like it's too expensive. Got it. Dude, what would make sense for you? Like what? I don't know, man. Like I think $3,000 would make sense. Got it. Okay. Let's say I can't close the deal. Okay. For whatever reason. At the end of the month, June 28th, we call them up, say, hey, John, this is Kaushik. We had a conversation. Da, 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 da. Yeah, dude, I remember. Hey, look, dude, we are at the end of this month and we have a quota that we have to meet. And we're so close. We literally just need 2 people in through the door. I remember when you and I spoke, you said that you were open to doing it for 2,500. Is that something you're still open to? This is something I can get you in probably by the end of tomorrow at the latest, but just wanted to reach out, see if you were still interested because I can go and honor that. He says, yeah. Does that make sense? So what I'm doing is um I'm uh I'm taking their emotions and I'm just getting them to want to pay more. Um that's not the best wording. That psychological feeling is kind of what I'm talking about, is what I'm trying to get at. Is you're having some urgency and you're having some scarcity. There we go. So the fact that it's the 28th or 29th that we call, we have 2 spots left and we have 2 days left.
FOMO. It's FOMO.
Yes, yeah. So we have scarcity because there's only 2 spots, and then urgency because there's only 1 or 2 days left. Does that make sense? So that's the
Yeah.
key. If you want to write that down or try to remember that, like that's the key in this messaging. So whatever we call them and say to them, we have to have urgency and scarcity to get them to say yeah to this thing. And fuck, I don't know. Maybe we can even like collect car details and charge them right on the spot for this shit.
You could be smart about it too and be like, do you know someone that would do you know someone well that would take you up on this offer as well? Because I have to make so many more phone calls and I really don't want to do it. Ha 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 ha.
I like that. Like the referral.
Yeah.
Like if they do referral, they can get like an extra treatment or something.
Yeah.
Or
Because you can be like,
instead of,
yeah, like because if you're pretty firm about like the 2 spots that are, you can be like, yeah, I have to do it with one more person too. Do you know anybody? Because if not, I have to go make hundreds of phone calls. Like
Does
seriously,
that make
that
sense?
actually could work.
So urgency, scarcity, and we got to test out a few different scripts to make
Yeah.
this work.
Yeah, I know both the scripts from Greta and the Botox guy, they do collect card details because they require $50 deposit, but that just goes straight to the thing. That helps like increase show up rates, but it doesn't increase the value. So I mean, yeah, I don't know like anything about charging right away, but other than like the deposit, but they do collect like the card details.
So you have
And
to
then
play
they
around with this. I would, if I were you, I would play around with that. Like I would be like, hey, got it. So the only way I can lock you in is so yeah. Are you sure you want to like? Are you? I don't know how the fuck you would say it. And you can, by the way, we
Right.
can go back and forth. You can write a few scripts, and I can look over them for you and kind of give you suggestions. Um, but we can mess around with trying to collect those card details and charge them for the thing. And then if they charge them for the thing, well, then you've increased the average order value, and like obviously they're gonna fucking show up for the thing, right?
Right.
Um, so. But yeah, those are things that like that's where my mind would be if I were you. Over the next few like weeks, I don't know how long you have before making the full-time transition, but like here's what I would be doing. Obviously let's have a conversation with Dr. Jennifer, roll this out to the other people, and then three, your time and energy is just like obviously like do your discovery and your seller call, do your sales calls and your discovery calls, obviously. But in terms of like high leverage activities, there's not much we can do other than you literally work all the fucking leads of your clients and figure this shit out.
Right.
That's what I would be doing for you. Work all the leads of all of your clients and for us figure out the script to increase average order value, potentially collect card details. And once we have that fucking play, we're going to be that much closer to systematizing everything.
Got it. And for like my clients who, they're running this funnel, they're getting it booked. Like, should I frame it in a way where like, hey, because this is a new funnel and we want to make sure it works or whatever it is, I'll take over for the first week or two or something like that, where, I'll begin because I've never taken a medical spa like call and I'm not really sure because they have to book them, like they'll book them through their system. From that, if that makes sense. So,
You've
um,
never followed up with any of the leads that you've generated for anybody?
no, I've never called them. No.
And this is fucking fantastic for you. Like this is something that you need to be doing. You need to be doing this. So I'm glad that you're going to be able to do it. But what were you saying? Your concern is what exactly?
One is like getting that authority to make those calls, and then two, I know the biggest thing is like booking those people and then like on their schedule thing, unless like there's a way where I can connect their software to like a Google Calendar and then I can just you know go through that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
I,
ways they can add me.
yeah. You'll need to have a conversation with them. And that's something else that we'll need to operate. Actually, no, we won't. Okay. So if you end up doing setter calls and we end up having setters that do all this, right? Let's say we hire like 6 setters, like, Selena, and each setter is responsible for 10 clients. Then, we'll need to figure out how to systematize that as well and get involved in their system. It's
Yeah.
like just have that. First of all, like if you were to say this, like what would their response be? Like, hey, look, we're rolling this thing out. We've got a few doctors that we're doing this with and want to roll this out with you as well. What do you think a response would be? They'd be just like, all right, cool. Do you think so?
I think for the most part, I don't see why they would be. I think they all probably hate doing the calling or the stuff. So I'm sure they'll be yeah. Again, I'm not sure, but I feel like they'll probably be cool with it. Like I'm sure there's a way I can convince them. I don't think it's gonna be that hard to take the calling off their hands.
Okay, cool. And then just let them know like, hey, we're going to be taking over the calls, but just to give you a heads up, this is only for X number of time period. It's only going to be for the next 3 weeks. And then we're going to be rolling this out to you. And the reason we're doing this is every market is a little bit different in terms of how you communicate. So we just wanted to make sure we spoke to the people within your market, get the languaging right. And once we had it dialed in, we're going to just shift it right back to you and allow you to take them. And then you're going to have a bunch of recordings from myself and my team doing these calls. This way, you know exactly what to say and do.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think we should try to think of like what those like incentives would be before I kind of asked to take those on or um
Like, what does the thing need to be that we're on the call and saying? Is that what you're asking? No, we just figured it out. We just figured it out. We
just
just
get
figured it
on
out.
there?
Yeah, we just do like me and I don't want to be sound so sure, but like you can tell me, I'll give you feedback. Like, okay, Kaushik, here's the offer. So here's what I would ask of you. Kaushik, you can send me a Loom video and say, hey, Kaushik, here's the ad, here's the opt-in page, and here's the calendar page, and then here's my script for what I'm gonna say to them. Here's what I'm gonna offer them and how I'm gonna do it. What are your thoughts? And so if you do that, then I'll review it and give you my thoughts, and then you can go out there and implement it. and then we'll just keep going back and forth until it's like, okay, Kushi, we got something that's working.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great for me to get on the calls. I don't really like, I hope I don't like stumble when it comes to them asking questions about Botox and those sort of things. I was like, yeah, 10 units, 20 units, whatever you want. We'll get it done. Uh,
Yeah, right.
but,
I think it's I know like this. It's imperative that we do this. Is what I'll say. It's
yeah,
imperative that we do.
yeah, I agree.
We have to do this to figure out. You know, when you're asked, like earlier, you said 15 minutes ago, hey, I want to have a conversation, figure out what their profit margins are. Let's just get the profits really high for them, so that's a non-issue.
Yeah, yeah.
What we're doing. That's
Okay.
essentially we're making it a non-issue.
Yeah. And plus if I'm booking people like on a phone call, then and I'm doing it with like 3 different funnels, then I know for a fact that my clients can't be upset or they can say, oh, we're not booking people. It's like, I don't, if I were to question like the free video commercial, you'd be like, no, it works. Just do it.
Exactly.
So I would
Yeah.
actually have conviction. So
And it's also like, because I've done it so many times, whenever I hear somebody that like, if I ever look into their discovery call and they don't pitch the car thing, like because I've done it, because I know how important it is, I have so much conviction in myself. I'm like, you're fucking up. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
once you do it, like here's the thing.
Yeah.
The reason I want you to do it is so that you develop that level of conviction once you do enough reps and we figure out the script. And
Yeah.
so then we're gonna get to a place where like, let's say we have our clients recording their calls. And if we ever see somebody fucking up, you can coach them, be like, yo, this is where you're fucking up because you've done it so many times and you know exactly how it works.
Yeah. I fully agree. That was honestly my biggest thing is just like, I feel like I don't have enough conviction because I haven't done it myself. And so I think this is the perfect opportunity to finally do that. So, I think changing up it into a funnel and just kind of framing it like, oh, since we're setting things up a new way, there's a different script that we're testing with this. So for the next few weeks, however I frame it, but yeah, I think it'll be good to get on some calls and try to book those people in.
Cool. I feel really good about this. I feel like we're moving in the
Yeah.
right direction.
Yeah, same here.
Cool. What else you got for me, man, that you want to discuss?
That'll be it for me. I do have to head out now. But yeah,
Go
appreciate it, man.
get fat. Go eat some
Yeah.
food.
Oh man, I'm hungry right now, so I gotta
Okay.
go. All right, cool.
Give me-
Yep.
Yep.
All right, see ya.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle, what's going on, man?
I think that's me next. Yeah. Just working away, doing what I can here. I'm a little bit like, I'm a little bit feel like Daniel. Like I wish I was a little bit further ahead. I guess this month has just been busy with everything else, but that's just how it is, right? Like, other than that, I guess I gotta, like, you answered my questions actually, in terms of the ad. I should be doing lead form ads when I was just doing these message conversations. So that's easy enough to tweak. I'm going to talk to Jorge. Well, I sent him a message. He hasn't seen it yet. So I'm hoping to connect with Jorge, and I'm going to ask him, what kind of questions should I put on that lead form, or what is he doing? Because like, so the ad's actually performing, I think, pretty decently. I'm just going to quickly open it here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should just share my screen here.
Go for it, man.
Okay, let's go share here. Okay, you guys seeing that?
So you got 17 messages, $3 per message. Nice.
Yeah. So now some of these are like, I don't know what it is with those Facebook bots saying that your account's going to get banned, but he said that those have been popping up. He also mentioned now like some guy from India had messaged him, and like when I go to look at this, I think I set this up properly. Where's the location? Like if you set this, yeah, right here. So it's set for Moose Jaw. So it shouldn't be going outside of that, right? Once you have those parameters set.
Yeah. So those messages are like, have you not been getting them? Like, hey, your account's about to get shut down, all this stuff. Like, have you personally not been getting them?
No, I've seen those. Yeah. Like I see them all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then like So are you saying like, are you asking about that? Or are you asking like, hey, there's a guy from India that messaged him that should not have messaged him?
I'm just wondering about that specifically, and I think like maybe that's a VPN thing, or like is that what that is? Yeah.
Is it a guy from India that looks like a fake account, or
Yes. Yeah.
so it's part of the scams?
Just a bot. Okay. Okay. Because like you get like those like the fake support accounts, right? And then you get people who look like real people, but you check their profile and they have like one or two posts, and
Yeah.
so those are just fake accounts, right?
And I don't know about your experience, but like for me, it's all been in India, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm just making sure that like these ads aren't being sent that way. But that was my impression too, just their bot accounts, right? So and that's fine, right? You're not going to get them all perfect, but I mean, from these conversations, like I have access to their page, and he is chatting with a few of them. So I guess part of my question is um, like maybe they could use some coaching like with the sales process. I think that's kind of where I'm like leaning towards. Like maybe there's a better way for them to answer these questions or to guide them through stuff. Because like, let's see if I can give
Do you
you an
have the,
example.
do you have the messages pulled up? Do you have his
Uh, Here I can pull them up here.
Are we gonna stick with these messenger ads, or
I think we were gonna go.
I feel like that's super important to talk about first, because if we're not, I don't feel like there's a point of.
There, I'm just curious. I'm just asking because I'm curious, but like really there's something that's far more important, Kyle, that I've kind of alluded to in the past with you. And hopefully you're kind of seeing that with the conversation I just had with Aman. And as well, I'm not sure if you clicked and skimmed around when it came to that video I sent you that was like from the wedding filmmakers.
The wedding filmmakers.
So if you come into Slack, if you go into Slack
Yeah.
and you come into the general tab and then you go into your question, and if you go into my response,
Oh, I'm looking at
yours. Yep. And then if you on the right hand side, if you
Oh, it's right here. Okay, sorry. I'm used to doing it on my phone.
you see that how to obtain your pro. So if you click on that,
Oh, I didn't see this. Okay.
yeah. So so basically, I mean, if you just kind of like if you want to just like pull that up and just hover really quick for the next like you know uh, uh 60 seconds. I'll be right back and kind of see the level of depth I'm going. I just want you to see this to see how in level and how in depth I'm going with these guys and what it really took me to figure this out. I'll be right back.
Okay, just skim through it. Sorry, I was cutting out. Is that what he said?
Yeah, just skim through it.
Just skim through and watch his like vetting process. This is basically what I do all day long, Kyle. This is kind of like my thing. I only run like messenger ads.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so like I'm sure if you sent me a couple of videos of your conversations, I'd definitely be able to coach you up on it. But if you want to just like not necessarily play the video, but just kind of click around to see what he's saying. Like, so for
Oh, okay.
example, it's like, hey name, please let me know when your wedding date is and location. I'll see if I can get back to you with my availability. Right? Really kind of like that first message is just to get them to respond. You know what I mean? So
Get that phone up. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
to confirm that they have the data available, then they get the looks like we have that data available. Can you tell me a little bit more what you're looking for? Um, go through a little bit more. Like see when he scrolls down.
Right
For
here.
instance, were you only looking to capture the full day from getting ready to exit or only parts? Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, it's like I had to, if you keep scrolling, you'll see again, like there is an objective to every single thing I'm saying. It's never just like just a cool conversation. Every single thing is by design. It's almost like a sales call. If they ever go out of the frame, I put them right back into the frame. So if they ask about pricing, I deflect and I go right back in. It's like a funnel from left to right. And that's what I'm
Right.
trying to get across you. So if you skip a little bit forward, for example, um, provide their phone number. So like even like one small little thing I had to figure out was like, okay, let's say they give me, so here's what I would do. One thing I tried was like ask them for their phone number. And then when they would give me their phone number, right away I would call them and then I would get ghosted. Another thing I did is, okay, that's not working. So let me get the date and time that works for them for a call. They say, yeah, okay. Then I get a number. Then I would try to call them again, ghosted. So then what I did is I got the day and time, I got the phone number, and then here's what I did. I texted them. I said, no, I messaged them in here and I would say, hey, you're going to receive a text from this number to get a call scheduled. And so they see this here. I wait for them to see it. Then I will text them and say, hey, this is John calling you about getting you scheduled in for a consult with our wedding filmmaker. Is this a good time to call? They respond. Then I call. So what I'm trying to get at is like, I had to go through fucking tons of iterations of this to figure this out. And
Right,
so,
right, yeah.
and so when you asked me the other day of like, okay, what do I do? And then like when you asked that question of like coaching him, the reason I'm so adamant about just do what other people are doing is because the only way to figure this out is to do it yourself, which is what I'm like telling Aman to do. Like he has to do the setting calls and figure out this whole thing. Once he knows it, then he creates course material and he's going to give it to his medical spa business owners. So when you say that thing of like, do I coach him? Well, you can't coach until you do it yourself. You have to
Right,
figure,
okay. Yeah,
and that's a lot of time and energy and work.
yeah. And that's why you're leading me towards these lead formats, right? Because that's what Jay's done, that's what Jorge's doing.
Because not only have they done the ads, like it's like they have the ad, they have the creative, they have the copy, and whenever somebody does opt in, they already have the script. Like, okay, here's what you're going to say to them, and then this you're going to say, and then you're going to do this, and then they're going to come in. They've already kind of sort of figured that out. So it's
Okay.
like you don't have to do a bunch of footwork to get it up and running. Just do what. Here's what I would do is this. What I would do is I would do what they're doing as a baseline, and then, like I said, I would figure out how to improve it. I would figure out what else you can do to increase the average order value.
Right.
Or so step one, option one is you do what they're doing to get the leads, and then you figure out how to improve it so that they sell more packages. Or two, you build a new thing. So you can do the messenger thing on the side as you compare it to this as like the control. So the messenger is the variation, and then theirs is the default.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. So this is still kind of useful information here because we, at least we're getting some like for $3 a result. It's not too bad.
No.
And as I was looking through his messages, it looks like they are converting. Some of them are getting lost, like because he is doing what you said, where he's like sending them a schedule or sending them pricing and stuff. So he's probably losing them. And that's where I was like, it occurred to me, like, man, I want to be taking these calls to do exactly what you're saying to figure this out. I'm like, well, that's going to be a lot of work.
Exactly. So as I'm looking at this dude, like this works. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I led with that messaging where I said to you, I was like, hey, I would be doing this, but I'm not saying that messages don't work.
Right.
They're working. Clearly they're working. It's just you got to figure that out. And I don't know if that's the best use of your time right now.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So yeah, so I guess in that sense, I'm just waiting for Jorge because he's really my kind of only contact. I mean, I did go to those Facebook groups like you suggested earlier, and a couple guys they messaged me back and kind of told me what they were doing. This was a couple of weeks back, but they didn't have like data for me. Like he didn't have the numbers, so it was kind of like not that useful.
Yeah, I would, if I were you, like if I were to give you step-by-step things, step one would be, have a conversation with Jorge and just like hop on a call with them and or get him to send you a Loom video with like all the numbers and like the entire funnel that he's running. Or ask him for that conversation with Jay and be like, hey, I spoke to Kaushik and I was just curious, if I would be, it would be possible for me to watch that conversation with you and Jay. This is when I get caught up to speed. Be respectful of your time, whatever, just like that's the first thing I would do. Step two is, yeah, I would do the lead form ads because I just know it works. And that's it actually. Step three, and aside from that is like yeah, that's pretty much it. Like systematize it for your client, like create some course material, create something so that if somebody else were to hop in, that they could just copy and paste literally like what you're gonna be doing with Donald. So they know exactly what to say, exactly what to do, exactly all that stuff. And then if I'm you, any additional time would go towards like, how do I increase the conversion rate? How do I increase? So for example, one thing Jorge said, do you remember what he said that increased the conversion rate for people to show up? Do you remember?
Yeah, he said get credit card details.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
before, I don't think they were, I think before what he was doing is he left it up to the business owners to contact them. But now what he's doing is now he's having his cousin call all the leads and get card details. So that was a massive golden nugget. So those are the kinds of things I would be doing if I were you.
Yeah,
If you,
I was going to ask him how he's getting those card details because I actually took something from you. I can't remember what you had said to me, but you actually gave me this idea. And then I told Donald this, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a genius." Because we were saying that you get a deposit for the gi for the jiu-jitsu gi, And then because what they were doing before was basically they have like tons of these extra gis and they get people to try them on, they use them, and then they end up just doing the laundry for those people. And a lot of people have been kind of abusing the laundry system, so they're constantly doing all this laundry with all these gis. And now it's like, well, we take a deposit for your gi, you don't owe anything, but you know, if you don't give the gi back, then you pay for the gi. So at least they're getting the card details, and then it should be a kind of an easier sale from there, I'm thinking. But
I personally think that, so I like to look at it as like bottlenecks that you're breaking through. And so if we consider the bottleneck that we have, you're getting the clicks, you're getting the leads, you're getting people to give card details and show up. So you don't like, you can test that out. Like you can test the gi thing out, but you don't really need to, because what is the purpose? Like, what is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is to collect the card details to get them to show up, right?
well, just the purpose of that, yeah, to get the card details so that they, I guess what I was thinking was, you know, once you have the card details, it's easier to get payment, because then it's like, well, you already gave us $75 for the deposit. Let's just give you, you know, that's your first month or whatever.
Mm.
So they've already paid for that month in a sense. Or they, when you sell them something, you know, you take that $75 off the price. So maybe it's a 3-month package, you know, maybe whatever, $350. It's actually 350 minus the 75.
I see what you're saying.
They're already kind of pot committed with the deposit.
So are you saying that you would, on the phone, you would collect not just the card details, but you would collect also $70?
Sorry, cut out there.
So are you saying that you would also collect money on that phone call, or just the card details?
I think initially, yeah, we're getting the deposit, but with the understanding that they're getting that back. But then after that one-on-one session, it's like, hey, here's where we sell you.
Gotcha.
We'll actually keep the 75 and it's only 250 and you get 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, test it, bro. Like, see how
Yeah,
that goes.
that's kind of what I was thinking. And so, yeah, we can test that for sure. And then again, like I could, you know, share with you guys, share with Jorge, whatever works.
Sure. And again, treat that as a variable, because you already have a control that works, which is what Jorge would just give you. Like, just
right. And I still got to get that information from him.
so, like, if I were you, I would test that out, like what you're saying, and see if it works. But in the event that it doesn't, it's like we already know Jorge stuff works, that we can just do that. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. We're on the same page then. Good stuff.
Okay, cool. So besides that, I just have a little bit of technical stuff with my funnel. I think I was talking to Mason about. I sent him a quick loom.
Kyle, one last thing, man.
Yeah.
Are you doing free group training or free one-on-one?
So it's a free group training plus a free one-on-one session. So they get the experience of, you know, being in a group situation, plus they get that one-on-one. We were thinking that they might take us up on the one-on-one first to kind of get comfortable in the gi and kind of understand stuff, and then they would try like a group session.
So the offer is technically for like 2 free sessions then.
2 free sessions, yeah.
So at the ad level, it's a free. Do you have the creative pulled up?
Yes. So we are here.
Because I'm wondering what's brewing in my head is, so
how do I make this bigger here?
Moose Jaw Adult Jiu-Jitsu free group training one session. Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Do you know if anybody in the messages has like inquired about one-on-one versus group, or like, do they know that there's even a difference?
Yeah, so they're I mean, I can see there's some confusion where people are like, wait, when's the group training session?
I can I didn't even know, like when you first sent me the creative, I didn't know there was a group versus one-on-one. So I would assume that they wouldn't know. It's not obvious to them either.
Yeah, so maybe there is some confusion with that. Here we are. I can just open this up. Okay, so here's one example. What is the monthly fee for? Okay, so
So when it says hi Erica, please let us know. Is that the automated message that you've got set up where when they click the button that automatically comes up?
I think that was actually must have been one of their templates. So this might be an issue too. Like I thought that when they clicked the ad, it would just like there might be a hello thing and then it would just go right into a conversation. But some of these have automated responses and it seems like some of them don't. Like this one. Okay, so this seems to be
That's like the template, yeah.
what are your hours, right? So some people are asking what are their hours. So that must be maybe one on the template.
Yeah. So first things again, I'm not necessarily saying to like what I'm saying is that I like what you got going on. If you can systematize and figure out the script, just a little tip I'll give you is I feel like you want to start things off with offense. So if you look at mine, um, in mine, what I said is like, hey, I forget what my opening line was. Oh, my opening line was, what is your wedding date and venue?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying how can I help you? What is your and then they respond, and then right away they're already in my trap. Or not my trap, but like I get to control this. Whereas to this, you don't get to control it. So right away he has a shit storm of like he's kind of like playing, he's on the defense answering them.
Yeah, he's basically just like a goalkeeper in soccer that's just reacting to whoever kicks it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big shift. That's like one of the big things I would do if you pursued this.
Okay, so that's yeah, that makes a lot of sense too.
I'm
like,
looking at this too,
Or like,
and this
or like Kyle, here's how you would literally get rid of the group and free thing. Like the group, it's like, hey, are you looking for a group session or one-on-one? If that's like your opening line, that
Yeah.
solves that. You know what I mean? But here's what was brewing in my head, by the way. The reason I was asking about the group versus one-on-one was what if you can leverage that, man? What if it's a group thing? Because we know group gets the clicks, gets the leads, and people don't even seem to know that's a difference between a group and a one-on-one. Like you're presenting that offer as if you find it valuable, and it is valuable, but they don't even see the value because they don't even know that that's like they don't even know. Does that make sense? Like your position at group and free, when they click on it, they just see a free jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
To them, there's no difference between group and one-on-one. They're just clicking because it's free jujitsu. So what I'm saying is, what if you start the conversation, maybe you do the belt thing and you say, hey, look, also, I don't know, maybe you upsell the one-on-one somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm trying to ultimately say is like, if you can figure out how to push the one-on-one, I feel like the conversion rate is going to be much higher and you're going to be able to charge a higher price. That's what I'm ultimately getting at. So potentially maybe you collect the card details and you try to get them to say yes to a one-on-one position in a certain type of way. Maybe that's something you can be thinking about.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I gotta think. I'm kind of rethinking a bit. Which is fine. Like we can change this, like
Yeah, I don't think offering group and one-on-one at the ad level is like I don't feel like you're maximizing the juice from a lemon. You're handing away one of your trump cards is what I'm saying.
yeah, actually that reminds me. So I had that conversation with Donald and there was a little resistance there. He was like, and this might be, with because they're nonprofit, like he even said it on the call. He's like, oh, if this was my business, I'd be doing things way differently. But he's like, I don't want to be that salesy, like we want guys that want to be here. I don't want to be, begging them to show up. And so I kind of there's like almost some red flags there a little bit, right? Like don't want to be salesy. It's so I can't remember how I worded it, but I was saying like I kind of brought it back to like people in gym memberships, how they just waste their money at the gym. And it's like they don't even show up. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I always thought that was so crazy. I'm like, well, at least like if you have people like in the club, they're paying you monthly. I mean, jujitsu is, it's good for them. Like hopefully that's an incentive for them to show up. Like I don't think it's a bad thing that you're trying to encourage them to show up to the gym. But there was like some resistance in the fact that he's like, the only way we're gonna get people in here is if they're coming to those group sessions, and we like giving them, that week free. And so I kind of like turned him away from the week free. I'm like, okay, well, why don't we do one group session and one one-on-one? And he's like, okay. So it was kind of like,
So you're doing the free week and then you're down selling to a one-time thing. And to that, he was like, cool with that. He's like, instead of doing a 7-day thing, I'm cool
yeah,
with a 1-day thing.
yeah, because he liked he really thinks the group session is what sells it because it's like the experience of all the people. And then he thought, well, the one-on-one is just super cool in case people are like intimidated by jujitsu. And so we had a conversation about that. And I said, yeah, like even when I started out, I didn't do any wrestling or anything. So it's like the idea of like getting in these weird positions with people you don't know, it is a little bit intimidating, right? Like,
What's that idea? Okay, so let's say you have a call, right? Let's say somebody becomes a lead, whatever, you have a call, and then you get them to kind of open up to you in terms of like what is the reason they're ultimately doing this.
Mhm.
If they tell you, oh, dude, my girlfriend, I'm trying to, this thing happened on the weekend and I just want to be able to like protect her. Got it. Dude, you know what, man? Like, I think the group thing is really great, but it's really for camaraderie. If this is something that's important to you where you're like trying to defend your girlfriend, that's something that's important to you. I would highly actually recommend just doing a one-on-one with a coach who can kind of cater to that need. See how it's completely different. You're solving a different problem. And then from there, he can charge something high ticket because he's there. He's not in there for fun. He's in there for life or death. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense actually. Now, I was thinking of something along those lines too, but not necessarily for self defense. But that's a really good idea because I think there is a lot of people that they want to do it for self defense, and then maybe you like sell them. Okay, you want one-on-one sessions with the coach and maybe someone else, and you pay this amount of time, but you get one-on-one attention. Here's a $500 pack.
What I'm saying is this, the selling point is that, okay, so it's not about self-defense. I'm just giving you one example. What it's about is you have to get them to open up to you and tell you that they have a deep why behind doing it. There's going to be the people that play video games for fun, and then there are the people that play for money, competitive, right? Two completely different kinds of people. So there are the people that are going to do jujitsu because, oh, I want to wrestle, I want to have fun, I want to just be athletic, da 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 da. Then there are people that have like an insecurity, needing for for violence and want to protect themselves too. Like, dude, I'm direly out of shape, I need to get in shape, or else like I have bad health markers, right? Something like dramatic. These people, you can sell these people on doing the one-on-one, and you can charge a premium price is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I got it. Another variation of that sales pitch would be like if someone comes in, they just want to do competition training, right? That could be a package. Okay, we have this style of one-on-one for that need. So you got to really find out what they're in it for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why do like, you know what I was thinking as well is like, I was thinking about this for a while, but like, why don't like jujitsu owners or instructors and stuff like that like offer like nutritional guidance, like meal plans and shit like that too? Because like, I guess just building off what Kashik's saying, it's like there's a lot of guys out there that are like they're joining to like learn how to defend themselves, or maybe they have like a hobby in MMA, but it's like imagine being a dude that's like, 6 foot, 6'1", they weigh like 130, 140 pounds, and they're like, I want to do this because I know I can't get bigger and I want to be able to defend myself. It's like, oh, like as the instructor, you'd be like, yeah, like, dude, I weigh only, 175 pounds, and I could probably kick someone's ass that weighs 225. And not only that, it's like, I know that you're struggling in this realm, but it's like, not only we're going to teach you how to defend yourself, but we're going to help you gain weight, or we're going to give you the nutritional advice that you need as well on top of that. So not only do you know how to beat someone's ass, but you can actually, gain weight and get rid of that insecurity as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of almost like two birds with one stone. That's how you can upsell it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No,
Like you can really upsell that part of it. Plus, he's not going to have to do like that much fulfillment on it as well.
Yeah. I think that's genius because imagine if you could sell like a weight loss program with jujitsu. So not only are you losing weight, you're having fun and building self-defense while you do it.
Yeah. If anything, like you could almost model it as like jujitsu is like the add-on. It's not the main service.
Mhm. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good take on it. And that's why like there is a lot of avenues for like different packages within jujitsu that they're just not being utilized, right? Because they're all focused on the other stuff. So yeah, that's a good point.
All this stuff, I know we're and me and Mason, and we love doing this, just jamming out, throwing different ideas, but like this is truly where this is what separates the boys from the men, right? This is where you get those like 10x multiples, right? Like figuring out how to squeeze the most out from each of the customers. And it's how you position the offer. It's literally that. It's like the same offer, but you're positioning it differently, and people will pay massively different for that. Anyways, the reason I just bring this up is like I hope that this doesn't feel overwhelming for you. And this is like one of those things where you just have to have fun with it. You just have to test it. And after you do, then you kind of figure it out. You kind of figure out what that messaging needs to be.
Yeah, no, this doesn't overwhelm me. And this is honestly like the fun part too. And I understand now like there is this like I understand what you're saying about not reinventing the wheel, right? Like, okay, go with what's working, and then as like a side thing, if we got extra stuff to play with, like we can start playing with this stuff, and that's probably where we're gonna find like golden nuggets in the future, and then eventually you could like set a whole funnel around whatever we find out, right? Some of the like where I'm at now, there's like I have a little bit of confusion on some things. Like I understand like with my club here, like I don't necessarily have him in Go High Level. I don't have any of that built out. We don't have a funnel. It's just, okay, here's an image ad. Here's, we're running a campaign for you. But it basically is that's what we're looking to build, right? Like we want them in Go High Level. We want to build that out for them, get them all set up that way. Like is that what Jorge's doing with his clients too?
I think Jorge does have Go High. I do believe his different clients have Go High Level, or I know for sure he's got the 297 a month plan. I know for sure. And I know he only has that because he wouldn't be able to service his clients without it. So I don't know how much that answers your question. I feel like you should ask him directly and he can tell you.
Yeah.
When it comes to like whether you like, I know inside of the Center Marketing Cheat Code course, like I really sold hard on like, hey, ClickFunnels, affiliate commission. It's more complicated than that. It's more nuanced than that. And I would say that comes down the road. Like it's very far down the road. Like one of the ideas, for example, Mason was like pitching the school thing to me. And Mason doesn't know, so I'll just go and tell you this, Mason. What was brewing in my head was like, somebody comes inside school and then we have an intro video and we say step by step, here's how to set up your 6-week sales funnel. We give it away completely for free, not even $47. Why? Because now we're getting a bunch of people on Go High Level. Right. So again, that probably doesn't even answer your question, Kyle, but like, it's like, you got to figure out where things fit within your business model. And so sometimes you want to get a bunch of people on Go High Level, and sometimes you want to keep all the resources depending on what your business model is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I feel like that didn't give you, I wish I had a better answer. That didn't give you like something concrete. What I would simply say is like, we just need to do way more reps and get further along, and then we can revisit where Go High Level comes in. Whether it is actually, let me ask you this. Where is that question coming from? Is that question coming from like, hey, do my clients need Go High Level? Or did that question come from, hey, I'm trying to get affiliate commission? Like, where did that question come from?
And maybe a little bit of both. So, I mean, so the one, what do I got here? When we create that ad, I think I got it open really quick here. Oh, that's really slow.
So if it's the first question of like, how do I just get them results? Then that's Jorge. Jorge's going to be your guy to go to, and he's going to tell you, I would just do exactly what Jorge's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to the affiliate question, that's what I was answering you prematurely, is like, that's something that we're not going to know for a few weeks, a few months, until you've had a few clients.
I guess where the question comes from is like, now I'm thinking of service delivery because I'm getting closer to launching this funnel. And when we start delivering, like, so in this ad, this is where it kind of came from. So it says, I basically say, we call the leads, we confirm them, collected the deposit. But in this case, like even with Donald, I'm not really, talking to the leads. So is this something that, what I'm saying?
I have an answer for you. Yeah. So I would say separate the two. Don't worry about your ad. Your ad has nothing to do with what you're actually going to deliver upon. I know you might have some cognitive dissonance with that, but I'm just giving it to you as it is. Like the truth is, like, the purpose of the ad is just to get them booked, man. That's it. Don't the ad, like, and I don't know what your experience is, but like, people don't even remember the ad. By the time you have the sales call and you're talking about service delivery, they don't even remember what was offered at the ad level. I promise you. So
and that's kind of, yeah, I was thinking like that. Like, and then even if that came up as an objection, I thought maybe it's like, well, in some cases that's what we do, but that's not what we normally do because maybe the costs go up or whatever it is, right? Like I could come up with an objection, but that's okay. That already clarifies that. That's kind of what I thought. Like it's just kind of in there, right?
Yeah. So and so even kind of give you a little bit more context. Here's just how you want to play the game. Step 1 is we just do what we need to do to get them through the door. Step 2 is we throw the entire freaking kitchen sink at them, man. We offer them everything. And we don't care. Why? Because you need to be in the trenches. You need to be following up the leads. You need to do everything so that you can learn. And then we slowly start stripping stuff away.
Mm.
And so that's the truth is you want to give everything to everyone for at least like the first few clients, like the handful of clients. So for the first few clients, you're in a season of learning, not earning. So
Gotcha.
even what Arte is doing, like he's learned, and now I'm trying to weed him. I'm like, okay, you've done your part, dude. Like you've learned. You don't need to learn anymore. So you're seeing me do that with Rodarte. I'm trying to get him off the phones now, right? And he has the ability to. It's whether he does or not. So with you, same thing. I want it would be wise for you to be on the phones and in the trenches and in the weeds so that you can learn. And then as soon as you learn, it's like, okay, let's now, for the next client, we're going to have more of a done with you service or XYZ service. We're not as hands-on because we will
Basically,
learn needs versus doesn't
one of your
need.
first questions was like, oh, should I coach him up on like setting the appointments in the DMs? It's like you're gonna be a better coach if you just have done it before, so that you can actually go ahead and actually coach him anyway.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, I just even that little bit of clarity there, I think that just helps me. Like I know now when like my first client that we get from the ads, I'll just say, hey, I'm going to help you with this. I can help you call them, like give me access to your page, and I can. So I understand that I probably have to learn a lot about their business, like even beyond just jujitsu that they're offering, like other things, so that I could answer those calls with confidence, right? Which is a good thing. It's probably a lot of work, but I think it builds a good relationship too with that client. So
It's about the relationship, but it's not even about the relationship. It's for you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's for you to become the best version of yourself, because when you are, everything else becomes easier. Selling becomes easier. Service delivery becomes easier. Managing a team everything becomes easier. The more you know.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
just a season
okay.
for it. It's just a season for it. So
Okay.
hopefully that helps you answer your question in terms of like the ad, and you're not concerned about that anymore. It's just that is a separate thing entirely. The ad and the funnel is a separate thing entirely.
Yeah, no, it does, because it was kind of stressing me out. I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong, but no, that helps a lot. The other thing too, I think like the other stuff that's kind of bugging me is just I need to just go over maybe some of it, because I kind of forget. Like when I was going through the funnel, like I forget how I even hook up the like the opportunities, and like one of the things, Mason, you said we should talk about it on the call. Maybe we can go into that right now if we got time.
Yeah. So if you're doing messenger ads, by the way, like you can use actually I'm not gonna say that. I would create a automation. Oh, we'll go over this first, I guess, so we're not confused.
Okay, okay.
So first things first. So did you build this page from scratch, or did you like download this?
So this is the template I downloaded. This was I think it was Amon's.
Okay. So
Uh,
click on that video.
so I removed his video.
Yeah. So go ahead and just delete it all together really quick. Like get rid of it and then add the element back, and let's give that a shot really quick.
So would I use this delete, or is it like this purple box delete?
You can just use the yellow one or the orange one, I guess I'm saying.
Okay, delete that. Okay,
And then go to the top left where the plus button is.
top left, up here.
Oh, yep. And then type in video. And then click and drag and place it where it was.
Well, we're gonna drag it.
Down. Right there. Okay, now try it again.
Okay, so now it's asking for, so this would be a hosted video. So let's just see. I got one.
Double left click it. Yep.
Get link.
Hit save, then hit publish really quick. And let's refresh the page really quick and see if that works.
Yeah.
I generally try not to host the videos and go high level.
Okay, is that a link?
Because I think the quality's kind of fucked on them, but I'm not too sure. We'll take a look here.
Do you add them to YouTube then, or where would you link it?
Well, I usually use Loom and then I embed the videos. Let's go. So where's the page preview?
How you want to use Vimeo. And if you go inside the course, the FAQ module, there's a video on how to upload videos to Vimeo the right way.
Okay, Vimeo. Okay.
Yeah. Mason's talking about like Loom videos. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Why would you recommend him to use Vimeo though?
So he's asking about the video at the top of the page. He's not asking about like one of those types of like more relaxed, chill videos that we record. This video right here that he's pointing at, that's a recorded video, a talking head video. It's not a Loom video.
Yeah, so you could still use Loom though, is what I'm saying. Like I would rather not pay for Vimeo. I would rather upload it to Loom and then use a custom embedded video and then
Oh,
you know what I'm
I,
saying? Okay.
I see what you're saying, but yeah, I haven't done that with Loom, but I see what you're saying. I think
Gotcha.
that would give us this, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I mean, that's what I do. Just
Okay, no,
because like I'm already
that
hitting.
answers my question because yeah, for some reason when I do host it, it doesn't give me an option to link it.
This is the only thing though. So this is the only thing though. Make sure you go in your Loom settings and then you adjust it so like the logo is off and stuff along the lines of that.
Oh, okay.
When
Okay.
you upload, yeah, when you upload.
When I
But
upload.
um, did you hit that? Did you hit that like preview button, like right next to the save button on the left?
Oh, the publish?
No, to the left of that.
Oh, this.
Yeah, click that for me.
Oops, I think I accidentally hit save. Okay, preview.
What does it say?
No compatible source was found for this media.
What do you try to what kind of file did you upload to?
MP4. MP4.
Oh, it's the MP4. Um, I don't know why it's not working. Hit select video again. I just want to see something. I don't want to spend all day on this. Are you left clicking that or right clicking it?
So if I right click it, it says get link. If I click on it,
Double left click it.
double left.
There you go.
Oh, what? That's all you gotta do?
Yeah, that's it. And then hit save and publish, and then try to hit that. So hit save and then hit publish again.
Okay, save. Yeah,
Top
save.
right. And then hit publish after that's done, and then hit the eyeball again really quick. But that should fix it anyway.
Yeah, I think I need a thumbnail for that fixed it. Oh, perfect. Okay, well that fixes that really quick.
Okay. And then so for the last thing, so in terms of kind of if you're going to use messenger ads, it's a little bit different because typically people are filling out forms or like calendars and stuff to like move them into the pipeline, if that makes sense. But what I do is there's not really a feature on Instagram just technically yet that like flags them. Like only if they message you a certain keyword or something along the lines on that. Um, but generally speaking, like what you can do, um, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore because I just got this weird text message. What was I talking about? I'm sorry.
Just the messenger ads, and I think
Yes, okay. So what you can do is you can create a trigger. So if you go back really quick, I can just kind of show you really quick. You don't have to do it now.
okay, create a trigger. Whatever. I go back in here.
Yeah, go to automations.
See, yeah, I kind of forget what I did for this stuff.
Go to create workflow. So this is kind of what I do, just because like if you're not running like IGDM ads where they're saying a specific word, just hit start from scratch. What I do is this, like I have a pipeline that I send them to, but for the trigger, what I have is hit that and then hit reply.
Oh, Instagram.
Customer replied,
Okay.
hit add filter. And then it should ask you hit go ahead. Do let's see. Except for anyone contains a phrase. Is it big hashtag? Hit reply to workflow really quick. I just want to see something.
Yep.
Then hit select. Okay, now. I'll have to double check on my end really quickly how I set mine up.
Okay.
But basically I have it so like every single time I receive a message on Instagram, they get moved into a pipeline.
Okay. Okay.
And then I just sort through them and I move them from there. But let me just see what the trigger is just so I can share it with you.
Sure. Sure.
Automations. Okay. So I have the trigger as yeah, customer replied. You should be able to scroll down. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't tell you to scroll down.
Unselect.
Nope, go back to replied to workflow. You
Oh,
scroll-
okay.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's gonna say reply channel somewhere.
Okay. Reply
And then
channel.
if you hit select on the right hand side, it should say Instagram DM. Yeah, that's what I do. And then I also do an add tag at the end. So Let me see, because I'm not seeing your screen. Okay. Yep. Then I hit that plus button. And then I just do tag. Then add. Yeah, that's what I do. And then I just make their own tag. So they're like tagged. And
Oh, good.
I name it like
Just leave it.
yeah, I just name it like messenger ad or something. But yeah, I'm just showing you how like what I do. And
Oh,
then basically everything else from that point is the same. So it's like add to pipeline, which pipeline do you want to add them to, etc.
okay. Yeah, I gotta familiarize myself a little bit with this, but I'm sure I could do that in one of those videos.
So
I've
that video on that page is fixed. You know how to kind of use that instead of like
Yeah.
Facebook lead form ads. So that works for you too as well.
Okay. I guess another question I had here. I'm just gonna unsave that.
Mhm.
Okay, so this there's like a med spa. So this is from the niche funnel, this workflow. And this is so I created the calendar page and the thank you page based off this niche funnel, and I've just changed it to my own now. So do you add this workflow list to that funnel? Is that the
What do you
idea
mean?
here? So okay, so if I go to my
Someone's snapshot that I shared. So Aman's funnel, basically his niche funnel, I just shared his snapshot.
yeah, so I basically took that and I just changed it to my jujitsu one. So I got the opt-in calendar here,
Mhm.
jujitsu thank you page here, which we just put that video in. I'll have to change that, but I just kind of forget like how, because it's been so long now, how we like. So if I'm ready to launch this and we have all the opportunities and stuff and in that workflow,
Mhm.
like how do I connect all that? Or and if I probably just have to go back and watch some stuff, I
Yeah,
just forget.
you'd basically just create another pipeline. That's all. So
Okay.
you would just go, so you'd create another pipeline, which you do that by just like hitting pipeline right there on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you would just hit create new pipeline. And then inside your automations, you would hit the plus button on the bottom. And it would
Okay.
say, what pipeline do you want to add to? That's it.
Can we
Gotcha.
edit the hydrofacial pipeline? Can we edit
Yeah,
that?
like yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Can I just change, because this is already on, so I can edit this and just change the name of it?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. So then okay. Because it looks like he's got it. I mean, I
I would
probably should
add,
learn.
the only thing though is like I would add more shit. Like I would put like opt in, then booked appointment, then confirmed, then you know what I'm saying? Like I would customize it like to you and your business and your
It's the
Yeah,
same.
like
He's doing the same thing as someone. It's the same funnel.
okay. But yeah, I think there is a lot of value, probably me like relearning this, because this part I kind of went over quickly, just to get the
yeah.
free video commercial going. I kind of forget how to do it. And then I think if we're going to be doing this for other clients too, then I really need to know it.
Yeah, basically like after you copy and paste it for yourself after doing the free video commercial, then you do this, then it's gonna be super easy because depending like you'll know what your clients' needs and like are. It's like lead, booked appointment, it's gonna be the same thing over and over and over again.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I'm hoping to get my funnel launched. I know what to do kind of now here with Donald. I'm trying to change the lead forms, but I have to talk to Jorge.
When are you getting your client acquisition funnel launched?
Well, I wanted it launched like on Sunday, but that didn't go down. So I pretty much have. I got my calendar. I just have to tie in these automations, this workflow, and then I can launch them right away.
You think you can get them launched maybe tomorrow?
I hope so. Yeah, I should be able to tomorrow. Like at least get my ads going, and then hopefully test it to make sure there's no errors. Like, I don't think I have my phone number working on it, but that's okay. Like we can still run the ads.
Yeah. I'd love to see like this week, at least one or two book calls. I think with Jorge, he's spending like $60 on a book call, maybe. I forget. $30.
60.
I think 60. I think. I'm not.
Okay.
I could check real quick actually.
Yeah, like I'm gonna aim to get them going tomorrow for sure. I do have some other stuff I got to do, but I should be able to.
Yeah, his cost for book calls last week was 35. Overall average is 67. So if you're, able to, get $100 in a bad spend, I feel confident that we should be able to get some stuff for you, at least one or two book calls this week. And I'd love to see that for you.
Yeah.
Just like have proof of concept and just know it works. And at that point, like things just become way easier, just in my experience. So
Okay. Yeah, that's the goal then. Yeah. Well, let's get a book call by at least by Friday. Well, hopefully before that, I got another video job on Friday.
Um, yeah, yeah, and the reason for that is like usually right around this time is where I send people like an updated video. Where I say, okay, here's what we've accomplished, here's what I'm looking at, here's what's next. And so if I can see like, hey, you've got a book call, then I'm like, okay, we've passed this phase, here's what's next. So that's
Mhm.
kind of why I'm pushing a little bit to try to get a book call, one or two book calls this week.
Okay.
And that'll help me create that video for you.
Well, that'd be awesome if I'd be pumped if I get a book call. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else that is top of mind for you, Kyle? You want to go over?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, no, that's it. That's all I had.
Yeah, keep us posted, man, and you'll get a video from me probably by Thursday. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much all I've got for you. If you have anything, you let us know.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll stop my share.
Mr. MJ.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. What's going on, man?
All good. All good. Arthur, how you guys?
Man, just living the dream. Got here breakdancing and chilling. Good, man. What can
Yeah.
what can we help you with as of right now? I know that the ads just launched. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you wanted to ask a specific question on, MJ?
I mean, nothing else that I could think about. I think the only two tasks that I was just meaning to get done today was, craft what my discovery calls would look like when they happen, as well as maybe prepping my demo too, which thank you, Mason, for also sending that slide as well. So I'll use those and also probably reach out to Aman as well and see what he has and craft something from there. And I want to also take the KPIs seriously this time because I know I wasn't able to do that in the 6-figure 6 weeks funnel, documenting it and all of that. I want to get better at that. So hopefully, tonight I will, take a look at what everything is saying and put that into the Excel sheet and yeah. So those are the three things that ultimately I want to be doing right now while everything just kind of like got launched. So I didn't really have much of any questions or anything like that other than just being on the call and just I guess being with the guys for the most part.
Cool. I'm sending you something I would suggest. Ask Aman for a recording of at least one discovery call and at least one sales call. So I think having a script and template and all that stuff is beneficial, but like also like just like seeing him in action, I think could help you as well.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Aside from that, I mean, I don't really have anything right now. It's just kind of like, the quiet before the storm, the quiet before,
I know.
and then it's time to rock and roll again.
Yeah. I've already been like trying to figure out like who I'm gonna recruit that's a friend of mine that help me set some calls or whatever. Like I'm already starting to think about like yeah. that whole storm. Yeah, there might be a few people that I think I could potentially work with. And my deal to them right now is just like any calls that they set for me, like push to like a sales call or whatever, and I close the deal on, at least just to start, like I give them some kind of a percentage ish of that. That's what is bringing my head to at least give me some time to maybe focus on the sales calls if I need to, and of course I can't pay them full time until I get to a moment that I can do that. So those are some negotiations that I'm working with some people I know that I think are good in this kind of conversations and building out what to say, and they kind of have a feel for this already. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I might end up just doing it myself till I can hire somebody. So
You most likely will, and you should. You most likely will and should. Where even like where Alman's at, I really think that you can do the setting and sales even 20,000-30,000 a month.
Mm.
Yeah. So just to kind of give you perspective. And so again, if you I think I saw one of your comments on Tanner Chister's video, so I know you've been kind of checking out his stuff. Hopefully you've been getting a lot of
Yeah.
value from it.
Oh
Did you
yeah, absolutely.
did you watch his entire video with Selena, the med spa business owner?
Yes, I did. The 21-year-old, right? Was that Selena? Yes, I did. Yeah, I watched it.
So your structure will probably end up being very similar to hers in terms of who you hire and fire. And so, your first few hires will probably be people out in the Philippines that are going to basically follow up with your clients. Then you're probably going to end up hiring, and around the same time, you'll probably end up hiring somebody to run the ads for your clients. And then eventually you're probably going to hire somebody that's going to be an account manager to speak to all of your clients, make sure that they're good to go. And that's pretty much it. Like, I don't even think you're going to need like a salesperson actually to hit like the goals that you want to hit. Like, I don't even think you're
Right.
So if I'm you, if you're already thinking about like, who can I bring in? I would maybe be thinking about that role that she had to hire, which is the account manager. So that's the role I would be thinking about if I were you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Really need a salesperson to hit the revenue goals that you're trying to hit within this niche.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we're just chilling, MJ. We're just gonna see what happens when you start spending some money on ads. How much?
Yeah.
You're like $10, $12 right now of ad spend.
Actually, I think it's more than that now. I think it is. Sorry, I'm just opening up on my phone. It's 1911, so almost 20.
Okay. Do you have any clicks?
Earlier when I checked today before this meeting, I didn't have any. Let me actually open it up on my Chrome and see what that manager is saying.
And if you want, we can have a look as well and see what your numbers are.
For sure. Let me switch over to my desktop and share my screen.
Okay.
All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is what I got.
Okay,
so
nice.
I have the two for Canada and the US. One thing I wasn't sure of is in the ad itself, should there be two ads? If I duplicated my ad set, should I be seeing two ads here? Or is it just because it's the one video, so it's going to both places automatically? I don't know, that confused me for a second there.
Click on ads. Click on ad sets.
Each ad set has to have an ad.
And then put a check mark next to the US and remove the one from the Canada. Yep. And then let's go into click on ads again. Yep. Okay. Can you go ahead and click on edit when it comes to your ad so I can see what kind of an ad it is? So right. Yep. Left.
Oops. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and I would assume that's the video that we saw the other day.
Yes.
Okay, can you scroll down? Make sure it's just one creative here. Keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Like it just hung on me. Okay, there we go.
So you got multiple headlines.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your video? Is it just one video or did you upload multiple videos?
Just one video. It was just this. Where is it? This one here, this single. Well,
okay. Go ahead and click on, take your mouse to the left and click on Cold Traffic Video Ad Canada.
Okay.
Okay, so what's happening is you're showing one ad to each of the ad sets. So it's a video ad, it's
Mhm.
exact ad that you're showing to the people in Canada as well as the people in the United States.
Which is what I thought was happening actually, which I guess makes sense, right? Like I guess that's actually what would be.
Unless you were trying to do something different where you were trying to show like photos and videos to each of the audiences. If that were the case, yeah, that's not what I'm seeing. But
Right, no, I think what I understood by what you said was I can like so right now it's just the video that I edited and I pushed that to the US and I just duplicated the ad set and then just changed the location to Canada. So it should be the same video that's showing to both, I guess. Yeah, okay.
and yeah, let's go and close out of this. It's interesting as we're looking at this because your CPM is so high in the United States.
I was just gonna say, I don't know, that's kind of high as
Can
hell.
you click on can you click on ad sets and then click on edit when it comes to the United States?
Okay. United States, okay.
I don't know, you can go down with your
Oh, this part, okay. I guess let's do that. Okay.
and then just run from the top to the bottom. So we're click website. Let's keep scrolling down.
Okay.
Maximize, optimize for lead, $20. Keep going, keep going. Okay, keep going. United States, manual placements, Instagram. Okay. So where is your targeting? What are you targeting? What interests are you targeting?
I was targeting small business owners. Let me see if I can find it.
Scroll up, yeah.
1 second. Is it no, not here. I think it's maybe
Audience.
here.
Show more settings. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
right.
okay. So day spas, facial. Okay. Small business. Okay. Can you click on edit?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what I would recommend doing
Mhm.
is this makes a big difference. I would also recommend reaching out to Aman and just ask him to send you a really quick screenshot of his targeting.
Okay.
Ask him to show you a really quick screenshot and or just a really quick Loom video so you can see his settings, because if you target different things, you're gonna have vastly different results.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll do that.
And then you can, if his, obviously most likely his targeting is gonna be different than yours, I would just switch it, tweak it to what match his, and then just let the ads run and you'll be okay.
Okay.
I would do that both for the United States and Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, everything looks, let's go to the Canada ad set. I would assume it's the same thing, same
Yeah.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
So manual, and then if you go to your targeting,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything overall, like I'm looking at looks pretty good. It's interesting that your CPM is relatively high. Sometimes that happens, and hopefully, fingers crossed it'll come down. It time to time does that. I really like the $20 CPM. In Canada, it looks like you got 2 clicks, you got $4 per click, so that's healthy so far.
Okay.
Yeah, overall things are looking pretty good.
Okay.
Nothing that's jumping out at me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. I think that's everything from me. And I'll just hang out till the end of the meeting. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to go over? That's pretty much, I think you're the last person, MJ. So
Yeah.
that's everything. I would say that wraps up today's session. Is there anything else that's brewing in your mind?
Yeah, no, I think that's everything. Oh, I got what would I say? Given a job offer yesterday, weirdly enough, on Sunday actually. The church I go to wants to hire me as an operational manager. Like I can't do that right now, but it's nice to know, I guess.
We're doing for them before or something similar?
No, I think because of everything I've been doing right now with, trying to get them to, thinking through the standardization and the organization overall. With the team that I'm working with and the organogram that we're building and things like that, the pastor just felt like he would need an operational manager as well in this new phase that we're moving into to help and make sure that things are running smoothly and all. And so because I've been like the point person, like spearheading the entire project from the beginning, he offered me the role. I should let him know how much do I want for it and all that. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to think about that right now.
Yes, it's good that you have other options.
Yeah, right. That was what I was thinking. I'm like, you know what? If I actually was completely screwed today, I know I'll be all right.
Exactly.
Right? Because I guess like it kind of made me happy in a way to know that I guess your ability to be valuable and solve problems for other people can present opportunities that
Like
you
it's like
never
a
expected.
it's like a hot girl hits on you as soon as you get a girlfriend. You're like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you could have done this like 3 weeks ago, man. Like,
Right? When I didn't meet Koshika, like, I'm in this relationship right now, like, what you talking about?
no, exactly.
You get job offers left and right, MJ.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece of your time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, MJ, I mean, things are pretty. Let me message you this one thing. Ensure that you have the same targeting as I'm on. That's the last thing I want to message you. Aside from that, just keep us posted. Again, you and Kyle, I'm gonna send you guys both. You guys started around the same time. It's right around this time that I like to send Loom videos. So you guys pretty much bang on. Like both of you guys. I know Kyle said earlier, he was like he felt like he didn't get as much accomplished. Both of you guys, it's interesting. You guys both started at the same time, and you guys both accomplished pretty much the exact same thing. So like, I mean, it's that I think goes to prove like you guys are both on pace. And this is pretty normal. So you've done fantastic. And I will send you a video, like I said, probably around Thursday. I want to wait for both of you guys. You guys are both have launch shots. You guys are the exact same position. I'd like to wait till like Thursday because I think both of you guys will ideally maybe get a phone call, book call by then. And so then I want to create the video for you once I see that come through. So just keep me posted. I know we typically ask for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but if you can, as with your ads, have you since you launched, just keep us updated daily so we kind of see. And another thing you can do is just like you can even like send us a screenshot so that I can see all your numbers daily. Like here, your these numbers. Obviously, I have access to your Google Doc, but like seeing these numbers as well, I think would be beneficial as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. Anything else, MJ, that you want to go over?
No, so far so good. That's everything from me.
How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good, actually. I'm feeling more rested in the past couple of days than I've been, and it's just weird that like to say what I'm trying to, because right now, like I'm trying to like optimize my body, my mental state, like everything, right? Because this is the most stretched I've ever been in any period of time in my life. So I'm thinking about like the small details. So typically like I'll eat twice a day, right? And I have the crave thing that I typically do at around, lunch, and then I'd come back in the evening and have something for dinner, noodles, maybe I'm having bread and eggs or whatever. Like I'd have a second meal, right? But then I was finding that the times I was trying to wake up, I just I couldn't do it. Like, and I was still going to bed relatively early, like maybe like around 9 p.m. or 10, but I just found like I wouldn't want to get off the bed, right? Like I'm just like, and even if I did, like my focus ability was kind of like pretty low, right? And so I'm like, okay, I remember that every time I fast for the most part, like I remember when we had to do like this 10-day fast, with church and whatnot. I notice, and I guess where the Bible always preaches that is there's something that kills inside you, like body wise, like when you kill your ability to wanting to eat and just feed your flesh, kind of, right? Every time I like go on that fast, it's like I'm so light, like I'm really light. It's like this snap. Like I'm so sensitive, like I'm there. Like I can't sleep for more than like a certain amount of time or what have you. Like my body changes. Like chemistry or whatever. Like it just changes. So I'm like, okay, I need to kind of incorporate that fasted life a little bit because I want to feel lighter. At night, I feel too heavy. Even at 2 meals a day, I feel too heavy. So part of that, and I also want to kind of like adjust my diet a little bit and bring back more vegetables and more fruits to help me feel a bit lighter. So my strategy right now is that, okay, I started just trying to eat once a day because when I eat once a day, I'm mostly okay. Like I'm not hungry for the most part all through the rest of the day. But because there's food, out of sight, out of mind, right? So there's food, I probably want to eat something. So I'm trying to discipline myself to have food once a day. And so I did that for the past maybe 3, 4 days. And I've been sleeping better. Like I'd sleep and like I wake up, I'm like, I can actually legit, kind of wake up. And so today I just bought vegetables and that's kind of like what I'll have as any kind of second meal this evening to keep me in that light state and more rested and more agility to be able to wake up. So I feel pretty good. I haven't felt this well rested in a bit. So I'm happy about that. So hopefully I can keep that going and keep making adjustments as I go. So sorry.
Time do you have your meal?
I usually have my around lunchtime, so 12 p.m.
So 12 p.m. and then what time do you go to sleep?
I go to sleep. I try to hit 9 o'clock as often as I can. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
you
when I
don't
do nine, actually, like when I do nine, I'm always trying to set my alarm for 5 hours. So 5 hours of sleep. So I'm usually trying to get up like about 2 a.m. for the most part.
and then
Right? That's nine. Yeah, that's about 5 hours.
you still stay out from 2 a few hours and then go back to sleep. Do you still do that routine or?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, some days I would wake up a bit later because maybe I couldn't get up. But yes, when at least for the past 2, 3 days, when I wake up and I do like the most amount of work and I'm feeling like I'm drifting or like I'm like, there's no need for me to be up and wasting my time, right? Like, let me, if I still have some like about an hour before I need to get up and get ready for work, I'll just force myself back to bed to get whatever rest I can, and then I go back. And I use the same idea as well, even when I get back from work. It's, I could be on my bed and be whiling away time, like maybe watching YouTube or whatever. I don't have anything to do, or not that if I don't have anything to do, but rather if I'm feeling too exhausted to work on what I actually have to do. I'm like, I can't do this right now. So, I will not while away time. So instead, I think that the most high level activity I can do is sleep, right? So instead of me whiling away time, maybe being on my phone because I can't focus and do what I need to do, I just bring my bedtime closer. So if I got back home, maybe I had an hour to myself and I rested a little bit. I'm like, okay, an hour's done, cut whatever I'm doing, sleep now, and then I get my 5 hours of sleep, and then I wake up when I need to, and then focus again. Than spending time just whiling away trying to like get myself to be motivated or whatever. And I'm like, I'm wasting time at that point, right? So, it's things like that. That's what my brain is doing.
That's good. I mean, there's so much like strength and discipline, and it's inspirational here. The fact that you're able to kind of force yourself, but I don't think the word is forcing for you because you just are so bought into like your mission, what you're doing. I think it's very inspirational. Have you? I remember a few weeks ago that we spoke. There was a financial thing, trying to like squeeze the finances and like make that all work because of you had something with your brother. How are the finances? How are things work right now? Like, were you able to take the funds and put them onto a 0% APR credit card? Like, what's happening with your finances overall? Just so I understand the financial health, what's going on. Because again, we're at a stage right now, which is like you didn't spend money for quite some time, and then now we're spending money on ads again. What's going on financially with you?
Yeah. So with the 0% APR card, I've paid that off. I paid it. Yeah, I paid it all off completely. Lucky me. Um,
So so
and
so so when you initially hopped in and started working with us, you put on a different credit card and then you move those funds over to 0%.
yes, yeah, I moved it from over to 0%. Yeah,
Just paid off the 0%. When did you pay it off?
yeah, I
How did you
paid it off. Sorry?
when did you pay it off and how did you pay it off?
I paid it off maybe 2 months ago or something like that, right? And I used whatever was left of my savings up until that point. So I just took everything I had and maybe like a bit of the other paycheck that I would have gotten during the month at that period. And I just added it all up and and I just paid it off. Just
What made you want to do that? Because there's 0% interest. What made you want
I
to do that?
know, I know, like, cause I was thinking, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about, okay, I could actually leave this in here and I'll be fine. I'll be okay. If I left it for that long. But I think the conviction I ended up stumbling upon was even though I'll be okay, I would hate that something would have to put me in a situation where all the money I have right now is gone, if that makes sense. And like, okay, so for example, if, you know, how do I put this? So, I mean, one, like I think one, the feeling of being in debt, just that feeling. Um, I know it's one that I feel like I just struggle with. I'm like, if I have the money, like I'd pay the thing off. But that wasn't actually the issue, but it was more like, okay, even though I have this right now, maybe a family problem or a financial thing that would happen that would require me to now actually dip into what I actually have and give that away. And then I'd be at a net zero because then I'd be owing this thing that is mine. And then I now don't have anything then. So my brain was like, whatever happens tomorrow, let that deal with itself. So it was like, if I have this right now, let me deal with my problem right now. And if anything happens in the future, I don't got nothing. So whatever needs to happen to to figure that out, let that figure it. So I'm like, okay, so I had to play that math in my head. I'd rather not be in a bad position. If I'm in a good position right now, let me just keep my good position and not wait for the worst to happen. If the worst happens, we'll figure it out. And it might not be that I have to, keep digging myself in a hole to figure out the worst position. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way my brain was calculating that.
Yeah, no, that it does make sense. To each their own, like if that, like I know how that feels, and like I've gone through that as well, where you just want to pay off a debt. Like I've gone through that, where it's like I have the money here, I have the money here, and technically, whether I pay it off or don't pay it off, it's technically the same thing. It's have to be paid off sooner or later, and I'm not using any interest, so I can just sit on it. But it just makes me feel good, or it just makes me feel good to just have it off my plate. I understand where you're coming from, so I get that. Um, I would say that where it gets challenging is like where you're not there right now, but like when you're doing things where you're borrowing money like at 3%, for example, from a credit card or a business line credit or something, and then you have invested somewhere for like 7%. So you're making a net difference.
Okay.
And that's where we're talking about investing, right? And so that's something to maybe be thinking about down the road. That's where you have to be okay with debt. That's the reason I'm bringing this up is like there are times in your life where it will be strategically advantageous of you to borrow debt and leverage debt. And so it's just something to prepare for in the future. It's not something you need to
Right.
worry about now. So I just bring that up because it's something you have to work through. It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm burning through I'm burning through stuff. I'm paying interest. But it's like, no, 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 you're actually you're making a net profit.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah. I guess in this context, I was trying to weigh all the pros and cons. I'm like, I don't know that I see any either way. Because I was just doing the math on it. Like, okay, I have it right now. I could be paying it off like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 till it's all done, maybe 7 months down the line or what have you, right? Because it was about maybe 8,000 or so that I was owing on it. So it could be, but it doesn't hurt if I pay it all right now. But then what would hurt is if something needed to happen that I couldn't keep paying my thousand again, and I have to give it to someone, then I have to go look for that money elsewhere, and that may be more difficult to do. That may cause me more headache because then now I'm out of my path,
it would
to doing that.
it would come either from your credit card, it would come from your savings. Either
Yeah,
way, same thing.
yeah,
Last thing I'll say about this is just like when I came up, like what I did, and I put this on my stories, like I literally when I was starting my business, my first few years, I was just getting 0% APR credit cards using that to cover everything, gear, advertising, this, that. And then whenever the 12 months was over, I would open up another 0% and I would roll the funds over.
Yeah.
I just kept doing that for a few years. And then once I don't know, I did that for like 3-4 years. And then finally, when I had enough funds, I just paid everything off all at once.
Yeah.
And that really just like skyrocketed my credit score.
Yeah.
But aside from
Well,
that,
I'm still glad to have it. Like, I'm still glad to have the card though, because it's still the game that's in my head. Because like, okay, like I have the one that I have right now, like the one I used to enroll in. And so I'm still like making this calculated risk in my head at any point where I need to be able to do something. So I can use this and do what I need to do the first card. And then, after the interest about to start rolling in for that one, I can do a balance transfer to the other one. And then have that, roll for a while or what have you until, maybe I could, pull a line of credit and then do like, like the risk calculations I see in my head, like just having those options and knowing that I have them to be able to pull them as I need. Yeah, I think it's still beneficial at the end of the day for me.
I know we've been kind of harping on this for quite some time, but kind of transition a little bit. The reason I was just asking is like, ultimately, are you okay? Ultimately,
Right.
okay, are you stressed out? Are you hanging in there? Are you doing all right? That's ultimately what I'm getting at. Is
Yeah.
again, you mentioned something in terms of your brother and taking care of some things here. For him, like, are you okay now? Is everything fine? Are you able to spend the money on ads comfortably? That's
Yeah.
why I want to check in on.
Yeah, I think Jen, like if we were to put like out of 100 or whatever, maybe I was like out of 40 maybe a few weeks ago. I think maybe like I'm at a 60, right? Like I think ultimately overall I'm much better. Of course there's still like a lot of uncertainties and stuff like that, like the processing that still needs to happen, and I don't know what that looks like. And I probably even need to follow up with him and see like what's going on and how far that's going. And since I also paid the card off, so it means that like the cards are okay to run the ads to right now at the moment, right? So that's good, and I'm feeling more rested. So overall, like I feel much more relieved at the moment. Yeah. So far so good. So far so good. I'm a bit nervous on the new journey, but that's normal. And I'm hoping that, I will cross that bridge and overcome that as that comes. Because I think one of the things that I kept on thinking about or being afraid of is like, oh, like am I even ready for a discovery call right now? Am I even ready? But I'm like, just launch the ads, man. And when the shit hits the fan, you just roll with it. You just roll with it, because I was literally just out here thinking about what Kushik said to me. It's like, you think your house is ready, you just gotta do the thing. And of course, like, because putting yourself under the pressure will force you to be ready without you're ready. Because I was thinking like, maybe let me spend another week or something just prepping the discovery call, and it's like, no, Kashik said run the ads right now. Whatever happens, it happens, right? And then you will be ready for the discovery call once it happens, even though you're not. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself about. But yeah, that nerve is still there. But yeah.
It's just like the 6 figures in 6 week. You have a little bit of nerves, and then once they start rolling in, you have your second or third call, they go away. So
Yeah.
no, I just want to make sure you're good. I would anticipate, I think Amun's cost per acquisition is about $300. So I would assume, obviously you're more than good in terms of finances. So I feel confident within about $1,000 of ad spend, you're spending about $40 a day. So within the month, my fingers are crossed for you that you'll have at least one close, if not maybe even two closes, and then your positive cash flow. So that's my hope for you. I feel very confident. So good, man. That's pretty much it. Anything else you want to go over, MJ?
Yeah. That's all. That's all for me. That's all
Okay.
for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna hang out, talk to Tony a little bit. If you have to get going, hang out. Like, or have more
Alright.
questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good night, guys. All right.
Mr. Tony, come on, man.
How are you?
Hopping in for a little surprise out of nowhere. It's good to see you.
I thought
How's it
Adam was
going?
going to take over for me tonight.
Oh yeah, what's he up to?
I mean, dude, we've been doing a lot of work for sure. We had a lot of video clients over the past month, so that's definitely been kind of at the forefront because we needed the cash, you know. We did one, I mean, we converted one of our video clients into a marketing client, which I think is cool. It's a product, so it's not like within our realm of pet grooming, but it is kind of nice to be able to be like, instead of a $5,000 video, do like a $5,000 video and then like a $6,000 marketing package on the back end. But I don't know. I mean, we're doing pretty well, I think, overall. We still haven't returned what we owe you guys in terms of what our pitch is going to be to this whale client, which is happening like basically a week and a half. And I think we technically like roll off in a week on the 25th. Monday is our last technical day of this cycle for 3 months, just so you know. We haven't gotten great leads recently in our pipeline for pet groomers, which I think we mentioned last time. We have some new copy. We have some new ads. We have some new creatives that we need to cycle in for sure. But right now, I did some video work for like a coaching client who does some like killer coaching for like boomers, you know, they're like 65 and he's like an OG marketing dude. And he kind of looked at our system just to be like, you know, I like this, I don't like this. And he was like, first thing you guys need to do is burn this fucking list. Like go through the whole thing, just like tear through it and make sure you don't have, because we forgot people that opted in like April that we still maybe have only contacted like 2 or 3 times, and we should just like annoy the crap out of them until they get out of our CRM, which was kind of his point. You know, he's like, some of those people are going to turn, you know. So we're going to make a more aggressive effort. Adam built a pretty cool automation and kind of based on what like Mason has taught us too, and like the cold outreach automation. And we're going to kind of reach out one more time with a text and a voicemail or email, whatever, and then we'll stick them in that and see if they hit stop or if they convert to a call.
Nice. Cool.
But it is a bummer because like the past month, let's say, everyone's been really standoffish, not very receptive. I've only had a couple sales calls out of all the leads we've had, in terms of the pet grooming clients. And yeah, I mean, there's something that needs to be done there. And we duplicated our ad to the T, right? It was just an exact duplicate. It didn't really perform that well, but it made the original ad perform good again, right? So had a great ad and then it stopped working and then we duplicated it. The duplicate was still like went to like $35 a lead, which for us is kind of high. And then the other one went back down to like $15 a lead. But the quality of the lead has been kind of trash. So that's something that we need to work on once we burn through our 80 lead CRM that we have that is still cold.
Okay. What is bringing your mind in terms of, and so I left a little comment there, like for sure, like definitely burn through them, but then also like another thing you can do is you can offer, you know, kind of do some like that Drew stuff. If you remember Drew stuff of like, hey, look, we're doing a trial, get on a call with them. Here's how it works. First week is free. After that's $250 a week, whatever. Just squeezing max juice out of those lemons for sure. I think you even have that like, because you've kind of ran through the gutter, like this whole thing of like getting the clicks, getting the leads, doing all this stuff. I think now you have the ability to tweak things up if you wanted. So instead of running your ad offering, like, I think, what is it, like, how many leads are you offering in your offer?
So that was one cool thing that Adam and I kind of came up with. It was 30 leads in 30 days, but we seem to have landed on 70 leads in 90 days and trying to close people for 3 months because that's more feasible and it's still like legit. Like if you get 70 leads, closed leads in 90 days, that's still great. And it's way better for our system where it takes about 10 to 15 days to actually set up and see results, right?
So the reason I bring that up is, yeah, and I love that idea. You can kind of convert more of the paid in fulls. But also because you now know that you can, if you needed to revamp your ads for some reason, like, hey guys, we offering you 30 or 60 leads within the next 90 days. And for a limited time, if you click the button below, schedule to call with my team, we'll do a free test trial for you. So it's a slightly different offer. Instead of like the 30 and 60 days, it's like it's a free trial is kind of like the offer. And so now you have the ability to do those kinds of things as well if you wanted to. You have the ability to create different kinds of funnels to keep getting your counter full.
Right.
And so you're not stuck to like right now you're of this mindset, which is understandable of like the mindset of like, hey, look, the ads aren't working. We have to maybe create new creatives and also, yeah, for sure. But you also have the ability to just build a brand new offer, a brand new funnel to revamp things if you'd like. You have the ability to do that.
What does the trial look like in your mind, knowing our infrastructure of how we're running it? Like Drew's was obviously a little bit different. I mean, would we be, I mean, my mind would be like fronting up money to generate a few leads. And okay, what does that look like for you then?
Yeah, it'd be the same thing that Drew was doing, which is getting them. I actually no, it'd be slightly different, but same thing in terms of like, hey, look, here's how the trial works. Da 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 da. You know, it's 7 days, and here's how many leads you can expect. And out of those leads, you'll probably close X number. But really, things pick up around month 1 because you're going to be able to do high ticket packages. No, don't worry about that for now. Let's just do a week, and we'll take it from there. In terms of doing the trial for the week, we recommend spending X number per day. Does that sound good to you? Say, yeah, okay, good. And then you get them to front the ad spend. And so something me and May start testing out is like let's say you get them to front, you know, $200 for the first week. You pocket 100 and they keep 100. So this way you're not like losing your ass on every single trial in the event that somebody doesn't convert. You're kind of covering your butt a little bit. So you
Right.
do those kinds of things. And then I think the secret sauce is, again, it goes back to the thing we've been talking about, which is like increase lifetime value, make them a bunch of cash, fast cash injection, these kinds of different things, so that at the 7-day mark, they want to keep rolling in and keep working with you. So you have the ability to do those kinds of things as well. It's not something you need to look into right now, and probably isn't something you even need to look into for like, 6 months to a year even. But like I just wanted you to know, just so you can hear that and know for yourself, you have that to run, those kinds of plays to run. You're by
That's
no means, you're by no means in this place of like, oh my God, my ads aren't working, the cost per is going through the roof. You got plays, man. You got trump cards in the back of your pockets.
that's kind of where I head was at. Switching the offer a little bit, hopefully switching the audience a little bit, and then maybe switching the offer to the previous audience might help, our turn rate. But yeah, I mean, overall, still going okay. I mean, we've only lost 2 clients over this whole journey, which is awesome. One badass thing that I got to mention, the video client that we turned into a marketing client was a recommendation from our very first FBC client. So the gym client, yeah, it's like a product for like fishing, right? It's like a fishing bait and cup holders and accessories and stuff like that. They were I know, dude. I was pumped. And we're giving them a $500 ad spend for free, which incentivizes them to come back, And we had something that was kind of like $1,000, similar to what you had, like $1,000 cash or Hermosi, for like a paid in full 3 months. But since it was a little different, it was like a $5,000 video plus like $1,500 a month for ads. I just gave them $500 and they don't know the difference, but they're pumped. I get to shout them out on social media. It's nice to see that like that word of mouth isn't just like hometown stuff, right? Those guys don't live in our hometown. Neither of them live near us at all. They're hours away, and it still worked with word of mouth, which is really cool,
Nice. Good stuff,
Yeah.
man. What did you close them on? What was the offer that they agreed to?
Just like a single video for $5,000 and then 3 months for $1,500 each. So it'd be $1,000 for our fee and $500 ad spend.
Sure. And they're I would assume they're doing monthly 5,000 then.
Yeah.
Cool.
They paid in full for the video and the first month of advertising.
Sure. What would you say? This is like super off topic, but like just trying to keep track. So you had like that one dude who's like super you're redoing their digital footprint. You got the gym, you got these people, you got a handful of dog groomers. Like what would you say, like in the last 6 months, what would you say the revenue has been for you guys in terms of the new client work, if you had to kind of ballpark it?
Like all in before before profit, right? Like gross.
Yeah, gross. What would you say gross has been last like 6 months or so?
I mean, it's a lot, you know, and certain ones were like washing, right? Like Pet Evolution is close to a wash, or will be close to a wash, I think. But I mean, that's like 10,000 bucks alone. We've got, 18,000 from our metal client in the past, since we've talked. This will be probably $10,000 plus from the camp and the gym. Um, this guy will be about 10K. All the groomers combined, probably another like 12K. So I mean, I would guess like somewhere between 42 and 50K in gross.
Yeah. In my mind, I think I hit 60K from that.
It could be, yeah. There's probably
Mhm.
somebody else in there I forgot about.
You guys are
But
crushing it.
well, yeah, I mean, some of them are good. Like some of them are solid. Some of them we're making money on. Certain months we make more money than others. And with this bigger one, we're playing catch up with money that we didn't spend in the first month, right? So we're almost like spending over our monthly because we had two grand from the previous month, right? That we really didn't spend because they took 22 days to get started. They were dragging their feet, right? So the very first month, they didn't really get much of an ROI, which I don't think they cared about. I think they're more interested in the systems than anything, which is cool. Um, Other clients are very easily like we're taking home all 1,000 of our fee. Some are like half and half, where we're taking home like 750. They're getting 750 in ad spend. And then like the first ones that we're sort of doing the digital footprint for, that's pretty much all profit.
Right.
No ad
Okay.
spend. So Katie Cat.
Yeah. How's Adam doing, by the way?
He's good, man. He's got blue hair today. I'm sorry you missed him. Maybe he was embarrassed to come on.
Maybe it's the blue hair.
Yeah.
No, everything's good out there since he moved out space,
Dude, it is,
everything.
man. He's been crushing it, man. He's stepped up. Like he definitely like he's been gun ho and like jumped on a bunch of stuff, showing a lot of initiative. Pretty
It's good.
pumped. Yeah. And like I said, I mean,
Um,
it's gonna be a tricky balance for sure.
hello.
Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Mason?
Hello.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard was he's going gung ho, and then you're saying listen, and then I didn't hear that part.
Oh, I mean, I just think it's going to be a little more tricky balance this summer because like our word of mouth video clients are coming back in. Videos picking up a little bit more. And, if I'm getting like $1,800, $1,900 a day, it's kind of hard to turn down.
Right, for sure. Okay.
Mhm.
Overall, in terms of like I know we're just kind of doing a lot of updates in terms of questions or like things to like move the needle. What questions do you have, or like what can we go over to help you guys push the needle?
One side note that I did want to mention before I get to the sort of existential thought. We ran Portuguese and Spanish ads in Charlotte, and the Portuguese ones were very expensive and didn't work, but the Spanish ones are now starting to really print. So I'll let you guys know after like another week what that really looks like. But today, like the lead volume went really, really high, and the lead cost was really, really low. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Nice. Okay, cool. And that's one for pet groomers who is that the one that was resistant to it initially?
Yeah, to the running a different language. Yes, it's the one that had the payment hang up so much and trust me enough to keep going somehow.
Cool, man. And you've been running that for how long, you said?
The Spanish one's like 3 or 4 days. It's not enough to like really call yet, but so far so good. It's obviously converting Spanish people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome news. That's really good to hear.
Mhm. But I think the area she's in didn't have like a ton of Portuguese people. She's Brazilian. She speaks Portuguese. Um, so I think that's why it was like so expensive and she got like one Portuguese lead.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're still basically in the same pattern, like the same place that we haven't been or have been for the last little while. Will this work long term? I don't know. It's been a great experience, like learning. We haven't really done anything in terms of like finding a different niche. But we haven't added any new clients in the past like month. So that part's a little scary because that's out of our ratio or norm of cycle. So we got to figure that part out for sure. And to me, I know you're like, well, the course isn't going to work if we don't show that there's like a perfect ROI or an easy hack to the ROI, but it still feels like something that could be shilled pretty easily, you know, for like $9.99 with some light coaching or some looms or you know a tiny course essentially. But is your main objection there that we weren't necessarily making 2x to 3x for every client yet, or it's not like a foolproof plan necessarily? Because like we have a client that's 3xing. We had our very first client who definitely 3xed. So I would say every third client ish, maybe every 2.5 client has 3x.
My question to you is, do you feel like your clients are making at least 20% profit or growth from working with you guys? So they're at 100K, let's just say, and then with working with you, they're taking home 120K. Is that happening?
No. Well,
That
I don't know. I mean, is it? Maybe, because like if they're putting in 1,500 and let's say we're working, you're talking about a year hypothetically. So for a year hypothetically at 1,500 a month that they're making, yes, then the answer is yes. It would be exactly 20,000.
yeah. So yeah, if somebody's at net 100,000 and then when they work with you at the end of the year, they're at $120,000 net. So you've given them 20% growth
After my
year over
fee,
year.
after the cost.
I would say that after ad costs, after your fee, after everything, if they're 20% year over year growth, I would say that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah. So then the question becomes, if you start introducing in a course or something else, well, then that takes the profit from 20% down to 15% maybe. Right. And that's still okay. But like, that's when things start to get scary. I was watching a great podcast the other day with this guy named Neil Patel. Have you heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I mean, you know, he makes Hormozi look like a child. Like his stuff is so good. And you know, he was talking like, so he was getting interviewed by all these different people, and I like compiled all this stuff to figure out, okay, what is the price point that he likes to charge and why? And mind you, these are contracts that are like 6 million, 10 million, $100 million, like insane contracts with like Pepsi and Nike and all this stuff, like Gary Vaynerchuk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question that he was asked is like, okay, how much do you charge? And how much should you charge? He said, you should only take on a client. So there's take on a client versus how much you charge. You only take on clients where you can give them what they're looking for in terms of value. So in terms of like, okay, we want growth, we want SEO, we want influencers, we want this, we want that, we want you to help us hit this number, help us do XYZ. He says if he believes he can give them that, he will take them on. And then the second question was like, how much do you charge? And he said, the amount I charge is I want them to have 20% year over year growth. And that's why I'm asking you what I'm asking you.
Wow.
So he says, if a company is doing 100 million, his job is to go in there and help them make 120 million after all ad costs, his costs, everything like that. And he says that how much he charges, and this is the key that I'm trying to get at. He says that the key is he prices his services accordingly so that he's covered, his team is covered, and they have 20% year over year growth. And the reason for that is not some ethical woo-woo Buddha thing, but rather because he knows that if he can keep that 20% growth, then he knows that they will not churn. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can help your clients stay 20%, like that's I would say bare minimum, but that's how you know, like, okay, we're going to be able to maybe maintain them, keep them around. And so if you can bake in your course and still help them be 20% year over year or stay close to 20%, you're good. But when you get more than that, now you're risking churning and losing the client.
From our cost versus what they're making, because we're taking from their profit, essentially, is what you're saying. Right.
So they're at 100,000, you take them to 120,000, and then let's say you charge them 20 grand for a coaching program. Well, now they're 0% year over year growth. They're not, you're probably not going to retain them.
Mhm. While we're on the subject,
Yeah.
Adam and I, we've taken some road trips over the past couple of weeks, which has been dope. Like we've had good shoots out of town and like just crushed like our own little masterminds for 8 hours at a time on the road trip, which I highly recommend if you boys want to take a road trip sometime. But there was I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of different options um for where we could go with that. And we've talked about school, SKOOL. Have you guys done any research on that at all? Can you comment on it? I know it's like Hormozy Shield and it might be too easy, too good to be true. We did note that there's under 100,000 users on there right now, which isn't like sexy to me. Adam was like, "Oh, it's new." And yeah, it's new, but it's actually been around since like I want to say like 2020, 2021. In terms of like building a course, if we do think that's the route we want to go for pet grooming.
Yeah. I mean, I literally asked Mason this because Mason has been shilling school to me this past week. He's like, dude, you need to start a school. I'm like, why? And so um I think that it makes sense for certain people and for certain people it does not. For you guys, I don't think it makes a difference. I think for most people it doesn't make a difference. Also, if you look through Hormozy's content, it's hard to find, but you'll find it. He says that he created acquisition.com for his high ticket buyers, for the businesses that do millions of dollars, where he wants to make his money. And he did school for the low ticket buyers. He's looking at school for poor people, honestly. You're not going to find this in any of his markets. It's like I had to dig really deep to get that information. So school, like he's hyping it up, making it sound like the sexy thing, but really it's for people that like he's just trying to make like, I don't know, like
He wants people
that's just
in
how he
his
positioned it. Is like, hey, these
keeping small people in his pipeline with school.
he I forget what it was, but he tried to explain something where he said like there's people that you can make, $50 million from, $100 million from, and then there are people. Oh, he was trying to explain this. He was trying to explain how like if you ever, so you can sell a coaching program for like 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, but then if you ever try to sell rice or beans or cookies or oil, it's like a commodity. And for those kinds of things, you can only make money if you do the large volume game. That's what he was trying to explain. So he said that school was his volume play, and then acquisition.com was his high profit play. So all the people that are signing up for school, he's viewing them as, again, just high volume. He's trying to get a shit ton of people in, reoccurring revenue. Again, you have to dig really hard to find this information. So I keep telling people that like it's just some hyped up shit. Nobody listened to me. That gets like, I don't know why. But the only thing that makes sense about school is their algorithms, their search algorithm thing. If you're familiar with it, do you know what I'm talking about or no?
I think I do because we took such a deep dive on it, but I don't know if I remember off the top of my head.
The only value proposition I personally see is that if you sign up for a school, then you automatically get recommended other school communities, like YouTube recommended list. And so what happens is if you create a school community, you have a great school community, great ratings, great value, all this stuff. If their algorithm pushes you out, well, then you get customers for free. That I see a lot of massive value in. But guess what? This is a software and that's something that they're promising and it's not even delivered upon yet.
Sure.
And how many times do we have a cryptocurrency roadmap thing that never comes into fruition? That's literally what this is, right? Again, I don't want to bet on Hormozy or Sam Ovens, but like software is like fucking expensive as shit, and it's not like selling some coaching program. So I don't know if they're going to be able to deliver up on that. I do see value in people like Mason. And I explained this to Mason. The only reason I see value in school community for Mason is because he has personal trainers, and personal trainers have such high buyer sophistication that they have bullshit flag alerts for everything. If they see an ad, a low ticket offer, high ticket offer, they've already seen it because they've been marketed for so long. So when they see a school community, now they're thinking, oh, it's a new thing. It makes sense for them. It doesn't make sense for you. It doesn't make sense for me.
It adds some like legitimacy to me, right? But still, the problem with school is it's not a like household name. So it's not like what was like Angie's List or something like that where like people are certified. But I think maybe it could be in the future. But I guess that's the problem now is that 100,000 sub viewer. I mean, sub accounts or followers is not very good. That's like something that someone started in like a small shitty college.
It's not that good. It's really not that good. Like the numbers are not that good. So the only, and every single person, again, I'm in like so many freaking coaching programs and masterminds. Every single person I know, so many people I know, like Ravi Aluwala, these are people who are doing 10 million a year. And everybody is telling me like, oh, we started the school community and we're doing this for the future. And everybody just has this complete bullshit like way that they're wearing. They're like, oh, we don't care about profit and we're doing this for long term. Essentially, what everybody's saying is like, yeah, we're not making jack shit from it. And nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to openly admit that. And even, Mason, I saw your Rhodes guy. He's got like 30 people in his community, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't see like 30 people or 90 people, whatever it was. It wasn't like, to me, it wasn't like, my mind is blown. Again, I'm not trying to shit talk the guy, but like, I didn't see anything crazy. Unless I'm looking at something.
No. So he literally like just started it.
Yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. Like that, there's nothing sexy about that to me where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a bunch of time and energy into building this thing. You know what I mean?
There's a fitness coach right now as well that has like a school community, and he's got a lot of members in there. But
There's one person that I saw that's really impressive.
who
One guy, his Hamza. You guys heard about Hamza?
he sounds familiar.
Hamza is kind of like an Andrew Tate guy. He's like super like red pill. Go on
Oh,
YouTube.
yes, I know who you're talking about.
He has a community. He's got 100,000 people in one community. It's $1 a month. This motherfucker is making $100,000 a month by charging you $1 a month. That is insane. But
Hilarious.
that's proof like why it works for influencers, man. It's an influencer's game. It's like you have to have massive following. So, anyways, we're spending all this time talking about it. But for you, Tony, and like you guys, like it makes no strategic sense to me. Like it makes no sense to me why you would do that as opposed to using Go High Level. I don't understand you would have any reason why.
Okay.
It's not going to help you sell more. Like it's not going to help you sell more. It's not going to help you do anything. Yeah. What else you got for us, man?
I think
You
that's
said
it.
something about an existential life crisis. Was that the existential life crisis? What was the existential life crisis?
No. There was no existential life crisis. I was thinking when I say like existential, I think I meant like full picture, like macro look at something, No, there's
You
no.
guys should keep running with what you have. It takes like 3 months, 6 months to like really see the effect of something, right? Because you don't know how long a client's going to stay with you. So like all the stuff that you're doing right now, the stuff that you were doing 2 months ago, you're starting to see the labor of your fruits like now. And the stuff that you're doing now, you won't fully realize it for another 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is like keep doing what you guys are doing. I don't know. I'm speaking to you guys as if like I'm never going to see you guys again. But keep running this play, and in your back pocket, man, with all the skills you guys have built and like all the success you guys have had in the last 6 months. And I'm not trying to gas you up, like genuinely, like, you guys have earned it, obviously. You know that. 6 months time, if you guys are not in a place where you're like content and you feel like you're working harder than you need to, dude, shift niches. Go fucking do dentists. And you'll probably like at a zero, you'll probably like 10x your revenue just from a simple shift like that. Because you've already built all the skills, you've already done all the things.
I'll see you next Monday too. Don't worry. We got one more. That's
For
our
sure.
last day.
Anything else that you want to go over, Tony?
That's cool, man. We got family in town. Probably go hang out with them for a little while before they go to bed.
All right. If that's everything, then Mason, is there anything you want to share? Anything you want to talk about?
I'm gonna start a school community and prove you wrong.
Invite me to it.
Okay.
You're gonna be so mad.
Sounds good. I would love for you to prove it for sure. Okay. All right, guys. Then we'll see you guys here next week.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
See you later, guys.